Fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Coffee with a Dog is live streaming now. My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Oh, what? We forgot to push a button?
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking.
I'm not ready.
That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Nope. Oh, I think I understand. The light just came on. Well, I'm definitely wrong. I don't understand anything. The light is definitely off. Good morning, folks. I think I have to stop that before it starts over again, right? Yeah, just do that anyway, just for the sake of safety. Good morning. It is Monday. Yeah, your holiday weekend is over. It's Monday, December 30, 2024. 2 more days to this crappy year, and then we start a new crappy year. I hope your Christmas holiday weekend, a long weekend from Wednesday to Sunday. I hope that went fine. What is this? Things are popping across the screen here that I'm not used to. That is a chat room thing. And now they automatically go in front. I don't think we want that. Anyway, we have a show for you today. Unfortunately, I know you don't really want a show. You want to just stay in bed, pull the covers over your head. I can relate. But we do have a show. Brakefield and Berkey, authors, technologists, a collaborative couple, but not together couple. They're married to different people. They live in different, but it's a male-female collaboration in authorship and technology. They will be back with us talking about a book. Now, they're my age. And they written a book for tweenies. Tweenies? I guess that's 20-somethings. Tweenies. I never heard it called tweenies before until I read their thing yesterday about the book for the tweenie crowd. I didn't even know it was a crowd of tweenies. There must be a name for a crowd of tweenies. A tween? No, that wouldn't. I don't know. Anyway, they'll be with us in hour 1. And I'll probably sleep a lot through that. And then in hour 2, Olivia Millen, who is a J-pop musician, college student. I believe she's in Villanova. And she is creating J-pop. What is J-pop, you say? Well, it's not yacht rock. And it's not smelly hippie music like apparently I create. Like, how do you know how my music smells? I don't know. Anyway, J-pop is Japanese influenced pop. Seems like a lot of teens and tweens, maybe teens and tweens. Did I just stumble into something? Are into Japanese culture. Go figure. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, that's what we got in store for you today. Like it or not, we will be doing that. In the meantime, we'll meet with the boys, the men to boys. Show me more. Okay, here it is. I'm going to play the news, and then we'll talk to the men, the boys.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
I'm Lawrence Keller in for Alan Edwards.
Survivors of the Azerbaijan Airlines crash in Kazakhstan described hearing loud thuds and explosions outside the aircraft during the flight, while the cause of the tragic accident remains under investigation. Talks between Israel and Hamas to secure a Gaza ceasefire and release the remaining Israeli hostages there remained deadlocked on Friday, with the White House blaming Palestinian militants for the impasse.
Israeli reports cited unnamed senior officials who allege that Hamas has not yet provided lists of living hostages.
The National Park Service is urging the public to follow safety guidelines and warnings while observing volcanic activity following the recent eruption of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, one of the world's most active.
Kilauea began erupting last Monday, marking its third eruption of 2024.
A woman sleeping in a truck was killed when a fire triggered an explosion at a Tyson Foods poultry plant in Georgia overnight, officials reported.
The victim, 61-year-old Baharma Batojapov of Las Vegas, was not employed at the plant, nor was her husband, according to the Mitchell County Coroner's Office.
Yes, this is a weird layout. Don't make me look at that big lumpy dude.
I know. We look like a really bad before and after.
Yeah. Good morning, folks. It's Monday. What are you doing?
That wasn't me.
Why do you have to do things? You're compelled to do things. Why? In the room, we have people who are compelled to do things. We have Ron Kane, who's probably had some kind of creepy, really young, sexual, bisexual experience or a wet dream overnight. We have Stephen, compelled to do things and makes noise. And,
that's not me. That's GD.
And that's G.D. Featherton, who has still no control over his background because of the shitty platform that we're on.
Good morning, America.
Does
your coffee sound funny in the morning? Matt may be too far away from the speaker, or it could be something else, but he sounds funny, but not ha-ha funny, like he doesn't usually sound like that. What's wrong with Matt?
No. I've been told my comedy is hack comedy. I don't know what my comedy is. I don't like have a comedy act. So, but whatever it is, it's hack comedy. And my music is smelly hippie music.
Wow. Well, your microphone sounds like it's 1,000 feet from your face.
Now, how do you smell my music? Can you smell it from there? I mean, I did not know it smelled. I don't even know it. I wasn't sure it was hippie music. I mean, the hippie music. My music is hippie music.
Is it hippie music?
I don't know.
Depends on who's listening. What was it? Somebody's grandfather who's like their grandson is like twice your age? Because I can see why they would think.
Or was it some guy that was like heard your music?
This Matt Timney dude. See, yesterday I posted a thing in Turkey. There was a storm, and in the cloud they saw a demon face, and I was freaking out because I thought the demon face looked like me, or at least a version of me. And he said I was being self-absorbed. Good people, what do you say? Good people are concerned or whatever, scared, and nobody will remember you or your smelly hippie music or your hack comedy. Now, the world won't remember me or my smelly music or my hack comedy.
All of this because you saw your face in the clouds.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
Wait till he finds out that there's toast with your image burned in it. Oh my God, is he going to freak out?
Wait till he looks at a dog's asshole and sees his own face. He's going to really freak out.
Right.
So I thought Matt Timney was one of the good guys. Is he? I don't know who Matt Timney is. Sorry.
I don't know who he is either. I mean, but apparently I triggered him in some way that made him very angry. But the world can't remember me. It's impossible for the world to remember me because the world doesn't know me.
Right.
I mean, I am so.
Internet knows you.
Not even that. I mean, in 8 billion people, like not even 0.0000000 and forever and ever 0.1 know me. I mean, that's how few percent of the world actually knows me. Nobody fucking knows me, so nobody's gonna.
How many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
It's down to under 18,000. It was 20,000 at the beginning of December. It's down to 17,700 or something, which is concerning. I'm losing every day. They're pulling more old people now. I get that's because they haven't visited or they're dead accounts, but the numbers feel like they're taking actual people from me. It's hard to get over that, but it is what it is.
You know, it reminds me of when I was jogging and I dropped my cell phone, and a car ran over it like within a half a second. I dropped the phone, I turned around, and I went to go get it, and the car just ran right over the phone. And I cried because I felt like all of my friends were in the phone. And of course, my friends were not in the phone, just their contact information. But I cried.
Yeah, I could see that. But those people won't remember you.
Well, not now. They've been run over by a car. They're all dead.
Yeah.
I had to start over, find new friends.
I know. Now, I'm just wondering if Matt Timney has a lot of people in Turkey that were scared of this thing they saw in the cloud that looked like me. Or, as Steven said, maybe me, maybe Albert Einstein. Somebody else said Groucho Marx. Whatever it was. I don't know why that would trigger somebody, but it did.
Well, here's what's crazy is like that phenomenon of seeing faces and things, right? Like that's a thing people experience. So the fact that you just saw your own face shouldn't upset a fucking anyone. It's literally just your brain doing it. Like,
No.
what the fuck is this issue?
Yeah, and I thought it was making getting out in front of it so somebody else said, "Oh, look, here's my Lapo." I didn't want to put up with that, so I thought I'd get out in front of it. Anyway, Jimmy Carter died, Alice died, Linda Lavin.
Linda Lavin, yeah.
Somebody else died. Oh, Charles Dolan, 98. Charles Dolan gave me my first real career by accident. He was the founder of Cablevision and later HBO. Great man. His sons are not so great, but
Greg Gumbel also died.
Oh yeah, that was last week though, wasn't it? A couple. Yeah.
It was like Friday. So I guess that's last week.
He wasn't 98 though, right? Or 100. He was
72, I think. I don't remember now. 68 maybe? 72? I don't know.
See now, Jimmy Carter dies. He's 100 years old, and it takes 10 seconds for people on Twitter to equate it with he got the vaccine. That's what killed him.
Dude, I saw that. That was so fucking dumb. I was just like, fucking, why does everything have to be a fucking thing? Like a conspiracy?
100-year-old guy dies, and there's something strange about that.
100 years old, he had COVID. Fucking what? Like, go fuck yourself. Who cares what he fucking had? He's 100 years old. The fucking wind could have killed him. Like, relax.
And the people who draw the lines on, Democrat, Republican, to them, Jimmy Carter was the worst president ever.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bothers me because he was definitely not the worst president. Matter of fact, I think he's the most underappreciated. I think he's the most underappreciated.
I think
I tried to explain to my wife that he inherited an economy that a bicentennial where a president had just resigned and left a Warren Commission liar in charge of everything, who was stumbling and falling down every 3 minutes. And the economy was in the tank, and we were reaching the bicentennial. We were having bicentennial parties in cities that were falling apart. That's what he inherited. And then with the Shah being in Iran and the revolution in Iran, he gave refuge to the Shah, which caused the hostage. He had a no-win situation. He did the best he could with it. But beyond that, whatever you think of his politics and his policies, the man was a fucking incredible human being. And anybody who can't see that because they're part of a team, fuck them. I mean, the guy was better than me. He was better than you. He's better than all of us. I'm 65. I could not get out and help people build a fucking house.
I'm 65 and I won't. I can and I won't. I have the tools. I have drills. I gave tools and hammers and drills and stuff to Habitat to Humanity so that they could do what I would not do.
Right.
So I donated tools to them, but I'm not going out to do that.
Yeah.
Dude, I went out in South Bend and worked with Habitat for Humanity with Jimmy Carter, and he was the nicest fucking person on the planet. He even made a joke to me and my buddy when he was like, "I'm gonna go." He's like, "Cut this wood so we can have it to go up there and put it up on the roof." And we were like, "Okay." And he goes, "Are one of you gonna bring it up?" And I was like, "Well, I can't." And he goes, "No, you don't say I can't. You say I haven't figured out how to yet." And I was like, "Oh shit! All right, yeah, we'll get it up there to you." It was just one of those things. And it was like the only conversation I had with the guy, but he was just so, you could just tell he didn't see anything but the person. He was a really good guy.
Yeah. There was a story about him on a plane going and saying hello and spending time with every single passenger on the plane.
I can see that.
That's a special moment, Stephen. You got to meet one of the premier human beings who was alive in your life. So a lifetime.
Oh yeah, no, it was great, and I think because of that conversation, Garth Brooks did not add me to his list of serial killings. So nice.
I don't think that's a special conversation though. If you're just trying to get somewhere, and this old fucking guy just wants to talk to everybody on a plane, it's like Jesus Christ, I just want to get home, buddy.
Well, what if he tells you about the time that Neil Young deep-throated him? Would that have made it more interesting?
I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd be like, do we need to hear another horrible Neil Young?
I wouldn't be surprised either. It fits right in the era of peanut farming. Leonard
Penis farming. Was it peanuts? I really thought it was penis all this time.
Definitely farming for nuts.
Penis farming. I don't know.
I've
been waiting on my penis seeds to show up, but
I got plenty of penis seeds. I've just never.
I think they must have got lost. Sent to Indiana or something. The post office. You can't trust this post office.
I got a box of those penis seeds, and I was using them to seed clouds, so it would rain.
Wait, hold on. Somebody sent you a box of cum, and you threw it in the sky.
Yeah, so it would rain. You know, we're seeding the clouds, so it would rain.
I feel like we're crossing over into Grateful Dead territory. Box of rain, I'm lost. People are attacking me. I'm getting attacked.
Well, better you than me. Because if they attack me, I generally don't respond.
No, there is something to if they're booing you. At least they know you're there.
Yeah, yes, they're paying attention.
Fuck. I'm very booable. You guys got big plans for this?
Boo. Hey, Boo. You okay, Boo?
Boo. Call me Boo. You guys got big plans for the dropping of my balls tomorrow night?
Nope. I'm gonna be at home with the family, and then that's it.
My plans are about to say, oh God, man, I'm sorry. We had our annual Christmas plumbing issue. Every year between Christmas and New Year's, we have a plumbing issue, and we had a pinhole leak in one of the pipes, so we didn't see it. You know, and the only reason why we knew it was there was because it was in a closet, and my wife was watching television, and when she turned the television up, she could hear the water dripping behind the television, and so this is like every year. The first year, every Christmas, we've had 4 Christmases at this house. Every Christmas between December 25th and December 28th, we've had a leak.
It's a test of this miracle.
Well, I think we're gonna do one of two things. We're either gonna just cross out that last week of December so that we don't have a Christmas in this house, because that's when it happens. Christmas happens, and then something springs a leak. You know. I'm
thinking of a Japanese or Asian. I'm sorry, I'm gonna broaden it out. Asian actor with his name Pinhole Leak.
I step away for 1 minute, and we're talking about squirting already. So.
Pinhole Leak.
He's talking about his leaky rectum.
Yeah, Berkey and Breakthrough and Berkey are late. The technology people. Now, their publicist did send me. Did you send them a link? I sent them a link yesterday. Whatever. They want to talk about a book they wrote for teenagers or tweenies. Tweenies are 20s? What's a tweenie, Stephen?
I don't know.
Come on, you're a tweenie, aren't you? You're close enough to a tweenie. You're closer to tweenie than I am.
I mean, that's for sure.
I thought a tweenie was someone like between 9, 10, and 11 and 12. They're not a teenager yet.
No, that's a preteen.
Oh.
Well, all right. So yeah, I can't imagine.
So I googled what's a tweenie, and it came up with a servant.
A what?
Oh, okay. Okay. So I looked up the slang version: a child of approximately 8 to 14 years of age. So I guess preteen. Yeah.
Wow, good for you. GD's man.
Weird.
GD, well, we know that GD works with
children. You know, I know my children issues.
Part of the team. Oh, if I go to chat, I don't see anything in there. Oh,
It's in private.
Oh, I don't even know how to get into the private.
It's right up the top. Click chat. There's.
Oh, there it is. All right, yeah, private. Oh, they're backstage. I don't see them backstage. Oh, there they are
at the very bottom.
Yeah, well, what now? It was announcing when people came in.
Okay.
Did you turn that off? You turned
because you complained about it. I turned it off. You said I don't want to hear that in my ears, so I turned it off.
But now I was expecting it. All right, so they're here. Let me look for a layout that will work. How about that? Will a layout? Yeah, this
no.
Work. Wait,
Stop. I don't like it.
We need a 6. I know. Give me a second here. We need a 6. We haven't done this. You know what? They're the technologists. They should be able to help with this. How about this? And no, what am I doing? Show on stream. Show on stream. We got all right, and we could do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Good morning, folks. How are you? Rox, your mic is muted.
You guys are a riot, and
no, we're not.
Tweenies was exactly right. Good job.
I am a what I'm told is I'm a hack comic with smelly hippie music.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. You're right. That is.
They make a deodorant. You know, they make a whole body deodorant for that, so it'll cover your entire body of work.
Well, I'm not sure exactly how you smell the music, but wake up and smell the music. They say.
Well, some people have this sense thing in their brain where certain senses are transferred. Like instead of colors, you see a word and they see a color. They hear you play a sound and they smell a fart.
For example, every time GD tells a joke, I smell shit.
See, now if he said GD was a hack comic, I would be on board with that. But me, I don't know if I could show the book without hiding Charles. Yeah, I will. So I'll show it again later. We'll figure out another layer. We have a new. Obviously, you guys are technology. You're hip to technology. We're not on StreamYard anymore. So we're on this new, it's not new, but it's new to us, Streamlabs Talk Studio, and we don't know how to work it yet. So we're struggling.
So we're all going to learn at the same time. Okay, that's okay.
I don't think we'll learn by the time this program is over. I think it will be several years of a learning curve.
We'll be on to an easier to use platform before we learn how to use this one.
So we're trying to figure out what tweenie is. I think we have the answer now. Tweenies are not 20s people in their 20s. They're like prepubescent. Is that what a tweenie is?
I think that's about right.
Yeah, that's about right.
How do you get in a mindset, or how do you write a book? I don't even remember that far back. How do you write a book for people, especially now, because they are not like young people when we were young people. They are very different. How do you even get in the mindset of writing for those people?
You know, it's funny. You have to just kind of take yourself and go back to before you knew a whole lot of stupid things and just use your imagination.
Yeah. Do you have to have conversations with them? Because I can't even have conversations. I mean, they are a different animal than when I was, the world has changed and so drastically. And they are very savvy about things I was not savvy about when I was that age, but they are very dumb about things that I took for common sense at that age. So I can't relate to them at all.
And I think you're right. I think they are very, very different. And yet, I think at the heart of the matter, they're still kids. They're still learning. And yeah, you have to have conversations with them. And I've had several conversations with them. I like that. I like the young people because you can ask them something and they'll come up with some off the wall answer that I wouldn't remember I could have thought of when I was their age.
Right. Our second guest in the next hour is a musician whose focus or her genre is called J-pop, and they're very influenced by Japanese culture. I noticed my grandson, who's 13, is very into Japanese culture. He's learning the Japanese language as a Japanese tutor and wants to go live in Japan. Is this part of that generation?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, this is a story that transcends age. Because really, it's something that we focused in on the young people for this particular book, because it's easier for them to be able to move through the problems and look at it fresher. Look at it from the point of view of like, I've had this dream and I know where we need to take it. And so the parables are, it's really the ability to be able to project what they're doing onto yourself. If you look at it from that kind of perspective, because here's something for all of us to learn: follow the dream.
It seems to me that the younger people aren't really that much. I think we'd like to think they're different than us, but if you strip away the bells and whistles, like because we didn't have the internet, we had to go to the library, so that if they wanted to learn, or the thirst for learning is still there, but maybe the attention span is shorter because we've bred them that way. They're used to getting, like, if we wanted to learn something, we had to, it took me like maybe an hour because I had to walk to the library, look it up, and then come back home with that information. And instead, so that took patience. Now they want to learn the same information. It takes them like 30 seconds, and they want to know what the hell took so long to get that information.
And I think, to your point, the frame of reference is very, very different. The world that we were exposed to when we were young was much more narrow, like the library, like talking to people who, had a little bit more experience. These days, the world, like Japan or any other place, is really closer than it's ever been for young people because they can look it up. They can learn about it. I applaud your grandson who wants to learn another language. I think that's amazing. And Japan is a beautiful country to go to.
He has his whole life planned out, like he's going to go there, and like there's a danger. I thank you for that. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, but there's a danger in assuming you're going to have this life and then you haven't been there and you don't really, all you know is television, internet references of it. It's not going to be the way you imagine it. So I'm a little nervous about it, but
I can see him, really being dismayed, realizing the Japanese don't look like anime cartoons. I mean,
you're going there expecting to see anime and all these wild animation and CGI stuff, and then it's not part of daily life there.
Yeah, real human beings, and they're not waving, katana swords over their heads, chopping people up. So, yeah, that's
yeah.
I think another big difference between us as youth and them as youth is that when we were younger, we didn't have the choices. So we didn't have to, even though we had to learn how to make decisions, but we didn't have to choose between so many things. If we wanted to watch television, we had like 3, 4, 5 channels.
I can't imagine telling my grandparents that I wanted to learn Japanese and go live in Japan when I was 13. They would have thought I was, what's wrong with him? He needs a psychiatrist immediately.
Yeah, but that was World War II era. That's different.
Yeah. Well, Japanese, the culture, it was post World War II, and things were, the outlook towards Japan were not what it is today. So there's all that. What made you want to, because this book is a big departure for you two. What made you want, what made you want to write this book?
Honestly, it was to see if we could start resonating with younger people, because we are technologists. And so, that's kind of our passion, but it's really hard to talk technology from a thriller perspective with a younger group. So this was, let's go to the imagination side and let's have fun with it and do something maybe unexpected. And that's where Charles really got to have some fun, because part of the book is a bunch of graphics. And, AI was our friend when it came to graphics. So we don't write with AI, but we definitely had fun with graphics in this one.
Yes, I have too. I can't help but notice now. I'm sorry, I'm going to cover Charles up just a little bit here. The Dream is the name of the book. It looks like a wonderful. Is that an AI? Because it looks like a landscape painting, something that would be very fun if you're an artist to create.
So the way we came up with that is that you have to be able to teach the engine what you want. The prompt is everything. What did you put in? Oh, okay, I didn't put in the background. I didn't put this in, and so it's a learning experience. And it was it's sort of a parallel to the whole book. It's a learning experience for them, putting together a team to be able to make the dream come true. And so and for us, it was like, okay, we wanted some graphics to be able to illustrate their struggle, their challenges, and for us, it was very much a parallel universe. We're struggling with the new technology to try to make it do what we want, and it keeps going sideways. It keeps going, no, that's not what I want. You don't. I probably lost track of how many times I re-engineered the prompts to be able to build the graphics. Every once in a while, something would come back and say, "Here it is. Is this what you wanted?" And I went, "Wow, that's great. All I need is another 30 like this, and I'll be in hog heaven." It doesn't work that way because it's like, okay, the next one, use the same graphic. You go, huh? What? I don't know. Yeah. And it would go off into Never Land and come up with some really peculiar stuff that now it's just, so I had to put aside, just like writing. Okay, I'm stuck mentally on the chapter. But the graphics, they just kept pulling in. Because we had the story built, we could interleave, and we knew what kind of graphics we wanted to use to help illustrate the story, and that's how we used it.
Cool. There's so much here. I want to talk to you about the future and technology and that kind of stuff. But something that is very interesting to me is in the arts, whether it's in music, comedy, or anything really in the creative arts, there is a big focus on not confusing your audience. Stick to a niche. Stick to what you're known for. And I hate that because to me, I'm easily bored, and I want to do a lot of different things. My creative energies go in a lot of different directions. But this is kind of that risk that for you guys to go far from your audience, from your known audience, and present them with something that is not for them. Was that a concern in this, or are you just being rebels? Just like,
So I would say we've always been rebels. I don't think that's a new trait for us. But we like fantasy. We like reading fantasy. And one of the things this targets, maybe it's not our direct audience, but I'll bet you anything they have children this age. And so that was kind of like, okay, we aren't just authors for adults. We aren't just authors for cozy mystery people or thrillers. We're authors for kids too, to a degree. So the fantasy opened up an avenue that we just, as you say, we get bored once in a while. We want to have fun. This one allowed us to have fun.
Yeah, I think though the gatekeepers, as Stephen would call them, just don't want people to experiment or expand their horizons because they find something that works and it's bankable. Don't risk the bankable part of it by getting artistic on it. And I think that's to our detriment as a culture and society. Is if we spread that message too much, we kill innovation, we kill imagination, or stifle it to a great degree. I'm sorry, Charles, I interrupted you, but that was my thought.
We dug our heels in early on and helped generate a category in thrillers called techno thrillers. Nobody said that we should go do that. Nobody indicated that, oh well, there's a need there. It's like, no, this is what we want to do, and we want to push the boundary. This is the same thing. We don't want to be guilty of same old. Oh, it's just them again. They're writing another techno thriller book for some noodle that wants to talk about generative AI. Show me the technology. Show me how it works. Show me how you can make a better product. That's the challenge that we set on ourselves. This is what we want to be able to do. And if it's not like the old same stuff that we've done, good. We want to push those boundaries and say, what can we do? What is possible?
Yeah. Now I had. This is why people attack me on social media, because I have opinions. I said the other day that I felt like AI has hit a wall. Hear me out here, if I can be articulate about this, which would be a miracle. I feel like human beings have hit a wall in creativity. In music, for instance, you'll hear pop and like 97% of the songs have the same chord progression behind it. And in AI, when I get pitched a new AI app, it's a video editing, book writing, or image creation. It's like I'm not sure if the AI has run out of ideas or the people using AI to adapt it have run out of ideas to use it in a new and more productive way. It feels like the lack of imagination that people have had is just quickly made AI hit a wall, and we're not seeing anything new. I think it's already reached its potential because it's our potential is so limited. Our imaginations are so limited. Ron talks all the time about movies that are just remakes, rehash, reboots of the same thing. Like we've lost our ability to think creatively. It's something brand new, and the machines picked up on that and said, "This is what humans want. They want the same old thing over and over again."
Can I say, Matt? I'm thinking that the real geniuses don't use AI, so AI is not going to learn from the real geniuses. The real geniuses are going to want to create their own thing. They're not going to want to use the AI, and so it's the people that aren't the quote. I'm using real geniuses in a awkward kind of way. I'm referring to myself, okay? No, I'm just no. But people who are really talented and really creative don't necessarily want to use the AI. They want to be part of the process. It's people that have like a partial idea. They may say, like, I can write, but I can't paint. I can do this, but I can't do that. Or I'm lazy, which is most Americans. They're lazy, and they're the ones that are using the AI. And the AI is learning from lazy people. If the geniuses used AI instead of just create AI, then AI would be a better product. That's my humble opinion, which is right. It's right anyway.
I think that's a stellar way to put it. I think the lazy part was spot on too. I think that we are allowing people to take the easy button all the time.
I would agree with that, but I would say he was being a little anti-American there. I think everybody. I don't think just Americans are lazy. I think it's human nature to be lazy.
Well, I'm only exposed to most of my people that I'm exposed to are in the U.S., so I'm not going to speak to what I'm not exposed to.
Well, American laziness is an art form compared to the rest of the world, so that's what really differentiates it for sure.
But I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what you're talking about, the people who are using AI. But the people who are adapting AI, coming up with ways to use AI creatively, seem to have hit a wall. Like again, everything is either book writing or video editing, image creation, all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, we've got 10 apps to do that now. In 6 months, I've seen 1,000 apps that will do the same things, and I'm not seeing any new apps that say this will take your idea and kind of really expand on it and open windows of imagination that you had not thought of and all that kind of stuff. It feels like it's hit a wall for me. Maybe I'm wrong.
So Matt,
No, you may. Sorry.
I'll camp onto that. I actually saw an app that was pushed to me. It said, "Here, don't you want to try this?" And it's like, here's the place where you can go, and if you don't have an idea, we'll give you one. We'll write it for you, and you put your name at the bottom. And I'm like, how offensive is that? You think that it was a backhanded comment, in my opinion. You know, to here, you're not smart enough to be able to come up with an idea. Here, let me do that for you. And then after you're finished, would you change my diaper too? I mean, I just, that's what I don't want from AI. I want to clean the dishes, vacuum the house. I don't want it writing or making horrendous decisions for me.
Yeah.
This comment is, Matt, this is not to you. It is for your enjoyment, for displeasure. I was watching a thing about how The Godfather was being made and about Marlon Brando and how he was difficult to work with in The Godfather. And whenever they were referred to Francis Ford Coppola, they got the gender wrong because her name is Francis. They always kept saying she and her, because the name was Francis. And the thing is, I tuned in because of, it was like a 28-minute thing, but the teaser that they gave was that Marlon Brando was talking about the people he did not like on the set. That was the teaser. After 24 minutes of just an AI script, I had to stop watching. I never even got to the last part because I could not take the dumbing down. The AI is just so stupid.
Yeah, it has a long way to go. Yesterday, I did a thing on REO Speedwagon, which wasn't one of my favorite, but I was looking for. I'm running out of popular music from antiquity to highlight, and I knew in advance if I put REO Speedwagon, it would call it Rio Speedwagon, and so I thought in advance in the prompt separate R space E space O, so it would say REO instead of Rio. And I missed one, and sure enough, it called it Rio. Part of the problem I think is AI is using human beings for their machine learning, and it's not picking the best human beings to learn from, the most articulate, the smartest people to learn from. Is that a danger of letting machines learn from anybody?
Oh, it's horrible. You know, an AI for one thing has no soul. It will never have a soul, and it's not the brightest thing in the world unless you teach it. And if you teach it incorrectly, it just doesn't work well. There was a test that a big company did several years ago, trying to go ahead and go across all of social media to gain all of the insights to how people believe and how they should do things. And it was so radically racist after 6 hours, Charles, that they had to shut it down because there was no way they could ever use any of the data that was in there. So it depends on what you want to do. That's one of the reasons we wanted to do the AI in this book for the graphics, because we wanted to understand what the machine learning capabilities of some of these apps are. And it is very precise. I mean, you can go crazy trying to make it do exactly what you want it to do and bend to what you want it to bend. And I wanted to go take an art class when we were done, because it was, I'd get there faster.
But the real challenge for us was we had to tutor it and coach it to be able to turn out something useful. Now that's what I expect from using AI. And if you're to use GD's comment of lazy, here, just write this for me and send me my check, and I'll be done with it. That's not my life. I don't want to do that. I've worked all my life, and I'm self-taught in most things, and that's a source of pride, vanity. Okay, I admit it, but at the same time, there's nothing I can't go learn.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoy the creative process. I don't want it taking the work away from me. I enjoy the work. I mean, lazy, yes, I'm lazy, but I'm not lazy that I want to take away the fun part. And the fun part is the work and creativity. So, but this is a totally unrelated question. And as technology people, I'm hoping you can explain this. Why does AI always mess up hands and feet, like 6 fingers or 4 fingers?
It does its interpretation based on the input that you give it. So, yeah, if you didn't say, make sure the hands only have 5 fingers, and the feet, are at the end of your foot, the end of your leg, you didn't teach it correctly. That's kind of what that's indicative of, is that the large language back-end system and the algorithm that they're using to parse that information isn't sophisticated enough to be able to have a large enough database. And of course, this is where it gets to be really interesting, because I need more data. Don't you have to process it? Aren't you chewing through a whole lot more electricity? Aren't you chewing up bandwidth?
I have a theory, though. I have a theory about the hands.
Okay.
Because AI collects data from all over the place. So some people say we have 5 fingers. Some people say we have 4 fingers and a thumb. So if AI is thinking, okay, we have 5 fingers, but we also have a thumb, now you got 6. Okay. And that's what I'm thinking AI is doing with the hands. It's like it's trying to find a compromise between 5 fingers and 4 fingers and a thumb. And that's their compromise.
And that's what I keep running into too. When we're trying to build some of these graphics, it would come up with this like, huh? Well, I mean, do you want to put some background in? Yeah, would you? Would you like this in 3D or 2D? You didn't specify up front. Whose fault is that?
And I think the 3D is a big portion of why it messes up on things like hands and feet, is because it's used to a flat, two-dimensional situation. Three-dimensional is kind of baffling for a machine.
Wow. Very
So
strange.
it's like adding another, like if you want 2 legs, it's adding like 2 legs per dimension. So you wind up with 6.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but YouTube now is asking content creators to choose whether they want to allow AI to use their content for learning.
Yeah.
Which, asking people is a good thing, but a lot of people will think, well, yeah, I'm flattered, and I want AI, but they're not really. They want AI to learn from them, but they're not really somebody we want our AI learning from.
Yeah. I got that, and I declined. I did not want them learning from me, and part of that is because I had a friend of mine who used to teach English as a second language over in Israel. Well, to Palestinians, but it was in Israel. But he used to teach it to Arabs, and he used to use some of my comedy to teach them about English because of the way I would misuse the English language. And he really wanted them to see how screwed up the English language can be if in the wrong hands. So, but at least that person was a sentient being who understood that my English and my use of English for the purpose of comedy was screwed up. And he could set them right. But AI doesn't know that. AI doesn't know that I'm deliberately screwed up with that, and it would just run with it.
Right.
GD, I can't believe he weaponized your voice and your humor. That's incredible.
I was flattered.
Yeah, no, I would be too. We don't want AI learning from Ron Kane's comedy because everything would be, I don't know, Neil Young, sexual innuendos, whatever. Just the whole world will go sideways then. Tell us a little bit about the book. I mean, the dream is the name of it. What is without giving away the book? There it is. I don't want to cover up Joe. Tell us a little bit about the story behind the book.
So that it's a brother and a sister. The sister is younger but brave, and she does have dreams. The brother is older and much more cautious. They are essentially orphans, and they decide they want to escape from the boring castle and go off and find their own life, because she's had this dream and she wants to follow it. And so it takes them on a real journey. They learn how to interact with animals, talk to animals, and also how to teach a dragon about butterflies, which is kind of a fun thing. And again, it's just the whole imagination thing, and where it can take them, and where they can end up, whether it's based on a dream or based on a goal. And your grandson's perfect for that. He has a dream of going to Japan. I love this. We'll send him a copy of the book if you want, Matt. Happy to do that, just because it would be fun to get his opinion. But it's just for allowing the okay to have an imagination that doesn't conform to what everybody else says.
Wow.
With a lot of life lessons in this one too. I mean, one of them is you can go faster by yourself, but you can go farther with a group. And that's what those are some of one of the life lessons that we go through.
I think we are becoming more, maybe, and this is probably a follow-up question, not it can be the first question, but I think as a society, we're becoming more and more isolated in work. Because one of the questions that the survey said, do you prefer working in a group or do you prefer working alone? More and more people are answering that they want to work in isolation. They feel they're more productive in isolation than in teamwork. I'm not sure if that's a permanent cultural shift that we're going through, or that's still a remnant from the pandemic or whatever it is, but it seems to be a prevailing, or the majority opinion, that people feel they're more productive working alone but rather than in a team. I don't know if that's with the younger generation.
You can go faster if you travel by yourself, but you can go farther with a group. And that's what we talk about.
I think it goes back when I was in college, and in some of my classes there had to be a group project or a team project is what they called it. And invariably, there was a couple of people on the team who didn't pull any weight on that team. And they seemed to ride the coattails of everyone else that was working. I think that has something to do with it. I think it's the accountability of all the team members to make collaboration very, very effective. So I agree. If you have a collaborative team where everybody has a contribution to make, those contributions are respected and appreciated by the team, then you go a lot further. And
I hear you. I think the human nature to think that so and so are pulling their weight, and this collaboration is really 99% me. I hear that all the time in music interviews of bands that broke up. Several people from the same band will say that they were the one driving the bus, and it's like everybody couldn't have been driving the bus. That's your perception, but I think that that perception will make people feel, well, the collaborative process is really it's a waste of my time because I'm doing all the work and other people aren't contributing, and that's a big part of it too.
I mean, Matt, look at your group right here. I mean, you got us, the two of us, and we're collaborating. That's what we do. You got 4 people on here. Okay, well, 3.5.
And Stephen went for lunch. See, this is what we got to cut the dead weight.
But you see the parallel here. Look at this team because you've got inputs. You've got you're going farther with the group than
and Ron is just busy browsing Neil Young porn sites.
I don't know. See, Matt, ever since Matt has picked us up, I think he's lost like 9,000 subscribers. So he may have been going further without us. We're like,
I think it's closer to 2.5 thousand, and that just was in the last month. Something has gone wrong with YouTube, just assuming people are bots or whatever, or finding dead accounts. But it is troubling. Anyway, one of the things that I often am interested in is optimism. Couple of things here. Now, in your talking with young people about the future, are they optimistic? Do you get the sense that there is optimism among young people?
In some cases, yes. I think it depends on their parents, and I think it depends on their instructors, whether it's their teachers or the parents or a combination, whatever that is. I think that if they come from a negative influence, then it's more pessimistic than optimistic.
That's interesting because I'm wondering where that is, because more and more people are leaving that influence, not to parents, not even to teachers, but to teenagers and young people on their own. Just go find your own influences. One person was talking about we need a class. It's Anthony Scaramucci, former White House communications director for all of 9 days. So we need a class taught in public schools about the dangers of social media to young people. And it's like, well, where do the parents come in? Where the influence? So my thought about that is would just letting influences come from anywhere. The information age is a very scary place as far as where we get influence from and where we get our ideas from and where they can go. So I'm talking myself back into pessimism about that.
No, I totally agree. And the young people that have devices and get all of their friends to help influence them, I think that's part of the problem. I think young people need to have those devices put away until they get a little bit older so they can learn how to have conversations, learn how to play, learn how to go outside and, build mud pies if that's, something that they need to get a handle on.
Apparently the people in Australia have that same sentiment. They just passed a law that says if you're under 16, you're not on social media, period. They just basically said, here's a wall. We're going to enforce the socialization that we used to have, if you want to interpret that. So there's some people that are on board with that attitude, Matt, and I can't really fault it.
See, this could be a good way to get Ron involved because he's not even in favor of authenticating age for hardcore porn sites. He thinks that anybody has I don't want to put words in his mouth. I know he hears me, but that asking people to give their information is an invasion of their privacy, right from the. Even if you're an adult, they'd be asking you to prove that you're an adult is an invasion of your privacy. So that's. I'm sure there will be some opposition to that kind of. Prove you're over 15 to be on social media stuff.
Well,
Any comment on that, Ron? Because I just talked about you like you're not in the room. You're muted if you're talking. Yeah, your
Even
mic is
if
muted.
kids didn't have access to social media, they would just be destroying something else. So you're just taking, I don't know. It seems like it's just a big talk in a circle because people will say, well, we got to take this from the kids. They always want to take stuff from the kids, but no one actually really wants to help them.
Well, all right. So there's that, and you're gonna get a significant portion of people that want to, be on the side that Ron was just advocating.
Well, I don't know about legislation, but I definitely think parents need to get a better handle on what their kids are doing with internet. I think parents need to be parents. Like in our household, for example, my kids are not allowed to touch the tablets until they've been outside for at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say outside, I don't mean sit in the front yard and stare at the house. I mean go play, go ride bikes, go play with your friends, go jump on the trampoline, and then you can play on the tablets. If it's gross outside, you have to read a book first. Like, we set parameters. Because I let them play on their tablets. Watch YouTube and play games, but it's not the babysitter.
Right.
And a lot of people have turned to it and made it that. And I think that's what's really hurting kids. Not the access to it. I mean, granted, access is way open and anybody can get into anything. But at the end of the day, I really think it comes down to parents. Being parents.
Agree. That is perfectly said.
Yeah. Now, how long has the book been out? Or the book is out already? It's on Amazon. We have the link to Amazon, so it's out now, right? How long has it been out?
Correct. Yeah. What? 6 weeks? 8 weeks?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, it came out early so that people could order it for Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you finding?
Okay. Well, I may be offended here, but we weren't the first person that you came to help promote the book. Like it was out. If it came out 6 weeks ago, how come you weren't here like 5 weeks and 6 days?
They were here like 6 weeks ago.
We were.
Yeah, it's brain fog.
Oh.
It hadn't been out. It was not out when we were here the last time.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I know it wasn't out the last time. I'm saying when it first came out, like as soon as it was like available, like if it was available, let's say December 17th at 12:01, you should have been here like December 17th at 12:03 promoting it.
Wow.
I agree with you. I don't know why we didn't do that. We will certainly.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to be here at 12:03 ever.
I mean, this is a hard show to get on, guys. I mean, you're in big demand, and we're honored to be able to
Why that is?
hang out with you
like
and
smelly
have a good
hippie
time.
music and hack comedy.
We've built this on shitty hippie music and shitty
We
comedy.
need to have you purge those thoughts. Back up your mind and get rid of that stuff and dump it off to a hard drive, okay? Because you don't need it.
So now I know it's only been out for a brief while, but have you? Because we just talked about kids and their addiction to technology. Reading is almost like a forced thing, or you have to be really cultivated into the reading culture by your parents at a young age. My nephew was an avid reader at 6 or 7 years old, but I don't see that happening with the youth of today. Have you seen some good success with the book so far as young people being interested without being forced to be interested or coerced?
I have, for the small circle that we've made it available to. Yes, the sales are improving, but a lot of them just got it for Christmas. So I think a lot of parents were holding it out for Christmas, and Christmas was only 5 days ago. That's they're still at grandma's house. What can we say?
Just curious, did you have like beta readers of young people that you could test on? Because I would be nervous that my voice is not gonna resonate with young people.
So I had selected students from 5th, 6th, and 7th grade go ahead and give their feedback on it. and it was a resounding yay.
Wow, very cool. Now I'm getting a little optimistic for the future of humanity, just knowing that there are fifth, sixth, and seventh graders who want to be beta readers and give their opinion on books.
The other thing too was that we had, in the back of it, we had coloring, black and white images for them to be able to knock themselves out, and also, exercise some of their creativity. And okay, how would you color in this particular character from the book, or some of the word choice, word puzzles that went along with it, as a check for what did you learn. So it's a learning tool as well.
Right. Now you guys are technologists. Could you talk to Mickey, your publicist, about, because he sent me the original link that he sent me for Amazon was like 480 characters long. I shortened it. I went and got the short link for it. Can you teach him how to do short links to the
Yes.
book? The link to the book is
I'll meet with him later on today. No problem. Happy to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what? I couldn't even, in the ticker, you would not be able to follow that if you were going to try and post.
Yeah.
It's in the description for people to click on it. Hopefully, some parents will get their, or let their children and grandchildren know about it.
Yeah. Well,
And
and for
if
anybody
people want to reach out to enigmaseries.com and order the book, we'll sign. We have a few in stock, and we'll sign them and ship them so they could have signed copies.
Okay. Are you going to do an audiobook?
No. Well, maybe.
The publishing industry almost wants that now. It came up last week. It's like I'm seeing more and more publishing industries. One of the things they're on now is release the audiobook in advance of a hardcover or a paperback book. I'm not sure what the strategy is behind that, but it seems like every book has to have an audiobook now. So I don't.
So we do a lot of audiobooks for all of our other books, but
Yeah.
on this particular one, because we have the back end with the coloring and we have the reading comprehension section. Did you understand what did you take away from the story, so that it does have an element of a learning tool in there. It's hard to do that with an audiobook.
Yeah.
So I actually am considering doing an audio, but I agree. Audio is a big deal right now, but if we want kids off of their devices and we want them to read, and let's just give them a book.
How is how's it like in Texas right now? You got winter. You got what's the weather like in Texas?
So I'm in Austin. I'm in Austin today. It's going to be 85 degrees.
Yeah,
I'm
in Dallas, and we're gonna hit probably like 70.
Oh man!
Oh my God, we're gonna get 45 today at the highest. I'm so jealous right now.
Well, yeah, but all the weather from up north is being imported as fast as this weekend. So we're going to get punished for our sins, just so you know.
All right. Now, you two are lifelong Texans, right? You've been there most of your life, or all of your life?
I was born in Texas.
So it probably wouldn't for you then, but like the holiday season, we always equate it with snow, cold weather, and all that stuff. Does it dampen your holiday season to have it 75, 80 degrees at Christmas time?
Just not to put too fine a point on it, I've also lived in Germany, England, all over the States, traveled here and there. So I've seen weather from just about every corner of the planet. I got friends all over the planet, because we've worked with people all over the planet as technologists. So, if we want to cheer ourselves up, we call our friends in Ireland and say, "What kind of rain you getting?" Because that's all they get there is rain.
Yeah.
So,
well, we appreciate you guys getting up and being part of the program. The book is called The Dream. It's available at Amazon right now. There's a link in the description. It's for tweenies, and we learned what a tweenie is today. Rox and Charles, thank you for being part of the program, and come back anytime. You're always welcome here.
All right, well,
Thank you all.
GW
Y'all are fun time. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
GW said we had to be there on the next book 2 minutes after we release it. So if
we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Happy New Year. Bye. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Where are we? Charles. I'm sorry. These new buttons. They're messing with me. Look at that layout. Now what's going on here? Who's messing with the layout? You did good, but you did backwards. Didn't you do backwards?
I messed with the layout. I just hit the button.
Can we do this? I like being on the bottom. Yeah. Wait, what happened there? There you go. Tweenies. Book for tweenies. You guys, what do you think about the future generation?
Well, I think first of all, if you're going to say you're a technologist, have a goddamn better mic and a goddamn better setup.
Wow, I feel like the world woke up on the wrong side of the bed here.
No, I mean, we're
entire world.
technologists, and all you hear is
Or Ron is sleeping with Matt Timney. I'm thinking like a Matt Timney, Ron Kane, Neil Young.
I think, yeah, Nightfall Tower.
I think that it may not have even been him, because I got a message while we were during the interview saying, "Wow, everybody sounds like shit except for them." So I don't know.
Now, I mean, I agree with everyone. Does sound like shit today. The sound is not great, but
I feel like shit. And according to Matt Timney, my music smells like shit.
But I mean, you're just calling it technology, and you're using like that old gaming like. I'm gonna try to.
Obviously, I'm a little wounded by that Matt Timney comment because I keep bringing it up, right?
Oh, sorry, I messed up. Sorry, he said the lady and Matt sounded good. The rest of us sounded bad.
Yeah, well, Matt always sounds good because this is part of the hippie music, shitty, smelly hippie music.
Well,
Matt, are you okay, buddy? Do you need a hug?
I do. I need a hug. I also need to listen to some J-pop.
But Matt, even your sound sounds hollow today.
I will fight you over that.
No, that's what I was saying this morning. You sounded like you were like 10 feet from your mic.
Yeah.
You sounded like you were in a barrel.
20 feet from the mic, you say?
Yeah, that's not better. Yeah. It's the same.
That's what.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's fight. You want to fight?
No.
It's this new thing, right? It's this new talk.
I'm blaming Streamlabs 100%.
I did experiment with a couple of things over the weekend.
You were younger and it was college.
Yeah, well, none of these apps have the right layout for it. That Evmux looks probably okay. We'll see about that. But they're all getting greedy now. Everybody's up in their prices. So, but this one, I don't. This one we'll commit.
You have to do it while people still have money.
Yeah. Well, why you think money's going away? Is all money going away?
Oh no, not money is going to go away, but the inevitable crash.
It's all going in Elon's pocket.
We're all gonna have Doge shit coins.
Right. All right. I don't know whether I should play news or just shit on my watch.
But I am loving the word subtards, especially.
Subtards?
Yeah.
What is that?
The same people that lost their minds because Hillary called them deplorables are okay with being called subtards by Elon. That's fine. Call me a subtard. I'd rather be called a subtard than a deplorable. It is what it is. And whatever.
I think they're just happy that Elon Musk is recognizing them or seeing them. They don't care what he calls them as long as he sees them. It's just like when Trump says he loves stupid people. They're like, he sees us.
Okay. Let's get a little sampling of this and we'll meet our next guest. How about that? Can you see this? Yes.
Just be mine. I don't wanna be alone. Not when you're here next to me, my dear. You make my life like a dream.夢の方がいいでしょ。そうですね。We are one and the same. あなたが好き、あなたが好き。私にとって星のような人。歌を歌いましょう。リラックス enjoy the show. Kick your feet up to the
Olivia Millen, who is the star of that J-pop recording artist, is here with us now. And let's say good morning to her. Good morning, Olivia.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Wait, I'm hearing echo. Could you use headphones maybe? Or earbuds?
One sec.
Okay.
Echo. That's video.
Please stand by. See, now my audio is on that bed there, Steven. I mean, I'm hearing it back, and it sounds pretty clear.
Okay, is it good?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
it's good?
I'm still hearing me.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm feeling like, whoa. I'm no.
Starting on first thing.
Yes.
Man,
Do you have earbuds or headphones or something?
Sunday.
Monster Jam.
Do you want me to just swap the audio and come back in?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right, we can do this. Now, GD, nobody got that reference. That Sunday. I'm the only one old enough to get.
I did. I said Monster Jam Sunday.
Wow, look at you, Mr. Yeah. So she's getting her audio together and coming back in. No, that video that we just saw, did that give you an indication of J-pop? Did you see the J reference in there?
Well, I'm familiar. I mean, not familiar. I know of K-pop.
K-pop.
And they're in the same.
What is K-pop? Korean?
Yes.
Yeah. They're in the same hemisphere, so I figured it was just, a hop, skip, and a jump to the next island over.
Are you saying that they all look the
It
same?
just sounds alike.
Well, speaking of Korea,
listen, I don't. Okay, my wife watches a lot of Korean TV shows and movies, and yes, they all sound. No, actually, Korean sounds a lot different than Japanese, like in the cadence and the word and like the sounds. But yeah, you're not. Yeah.
Okay, how about now? We good?
I don't know. Yeah,
yep,
we're good.
All right, cool.
I'm switching places with GD here. Now we were just talking about what makes that J-pop, because I didn't see. I'm old, obviously. I'm older than your grandfather, but I don't see anything that kind of makes me think. Well, Japanese, it just doesn't jump out at me at that. What makes that J-pop?
Yeah, so actually the language. If you listen to lyrics, most of them are in Japanese. With my future songs, more with my future, more of my recent songs, some of my future songs, half of the language is in Japanese. It's actually highly inspired by the K-pop scene and how they mix the whole Western culture with music versus the I guess the style of the music versus the lyrics. It's very inspired by that, but also it's what I like to call hybrid J-pop.
Okay.
Now, when I was listening to the lyrics, I noticed that some was in Japanese and some was in English. Now, and for me, some of the English, because if I was just listening to if I just heard the Japanese and then you switch to English, it took my brain half a second or so to realize that, wait a minute, she just switched to English so I was trying to make sense. So when you're switching between Japanese and English, are you saying the same thing in English that you said in Japanese so that people have an idea that it's like a translation? Or is it like this concept is Japanese and then I will say this in English and the two don't necessarily have to be the same thing, it's just a continuous story?
Sometimes it depends for which song and what meaning I'm doing. Sometimes I do a direct translation or a similar translation more accurately. Sometimes, which is more often, I actually do a continuation, meaning I do sort of I say one thing in Japanese and then I continue that thought in English.
Right. Wow. Now, so when you're working with, okay, let me see if I got this in my brain right. Let me word it correctly. Okay. in well, first of all, how long have you been taking Japanese so that you can actually sing? And the other thing is about the rhyme schemes, because when you sing in English, you have pretty much a standard rhyme scheme. But in Japanese, is there a standard rhyme scheme, or would it matter as far as?
So basically, whenever it's almost every Japanese ending is in a vowel. The only thing it wouldn't be when it's not in a vowel is when it ends in n. But otherwise, every sound in Japanese ends with a vowel.
Wow.
So that makes things sort of easier-ish, but it also means you have to sort of match the pretenses, meaning like if it's in a negative form, it ends with nai. So nai and nai match with each other. So it's easiest to match those two things.
Wow. Now, are you a trained singer? Because the vowels, sounds and shapes are really important to singing, and I'm just wondering if it makes things more difficult with so much emphasis on the vowels everywhere. Because we have them generally vowels in the middle of the words when you're singing. To end in a vowel might be a little more difficult, or is it easier?
Yeah, I am a trained singer. I've been classically trained since like the age of started lessons at like the age of 5 or 7. But basically the vowel endings, writing it is more challenging than actually singing it.
Yeah.
Singing it, I don't have too much of a problem with, but writing it is, you got to make sure everything makes sense. You got to make sure everything lines up right. The song still carries its meaning in Japanese as well as English, so it's got all the pieces have to fall into place. So it takes me a little bit of time there, but singing, like in the studio, I'm fine with that.
Now, when you're actually writing, are you writing using Japanese characters, or are you writing the English using standard English language, but phonetically spelling out the Japanese phrases?
Yeah, I'm using hiragana and katakana, which is
Of course, that's exactly what I would have done. Okay,
Yeah,
we're on the same
me
page.
too.
We're on the same page. You don't even have to explain anymore. I got you. Oh, that's you meant explain it for the audience, because I understand what you're
Yeah,
talking
we
about.
all get it. I mean, we're so hip.
So hiragana and katakana is the two parts of the Japanese language that has characters, but it's more like an alphabet structure. Kanji, I use a little bit of kanji, but I don't know a lot of kanji because I'm still learning. Not fully literate yet. So with kanji, I use as much as I can, but that's like the Chinese characters part of it, like the Chinese inspired characters. For the hiragana and katakana, it's just like phonetic, like you have hi, right? You have like ke, like all these letters, they're usually 2 syllables. Or 2 letters, sorry, 2 letters. And each 2 letters has, or each vowel or whatever, followed by a consonant, or whether it's not, has its own character. So those are the characters that I use.
Let me ask you: is this a passing fad that could be, or do you see it as being something that is going to be sustainable and long term, like a genre that 30 years from now you will still be interested in J-pop?
I think this is a long-term thing, personally. Although it's significantly harder to write in Japanese rather than English. I mean, because you need the whole consideration. You need to somehow connect it with the English lyrics. It's a little harder, but I enjoy it. Basically, it's like how I would describe it. I consider it as a non-passing fad. I think it's here to stay, because I think basically like on the whether or not it is what, for lack of better words, whether or not it's basically coming to West. Basically what I'm trying to say is it's coming to the Western way of world, right? So basically I'd say J-pop is growing. It's always started as, it started as this smaller sort of audience, is what I'm trying to say. And J-pop usually has, for years, had the same sort of musical trend.
Where does are people finding it, like on streaming services? Are there radio stations that are J-pop oriented radio stations, or do kids your age? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean young people your age, young adults your age, listen to radio anymore at all? Is it like terrestrial radio? Is that a thing?
Yeah, right now is actually more on Spotify playlists.
Yeah.
It's Spotify playlists, music videos, that sort of stuff that gets around.
Now, is what you do conducive to performing live? Because one thing, if you have a backup singer, they too would have to. I guess they don't have to speak Japanese. You could only have them sing backing vocals in English. But also the music itself seems a very techno pop thing, like a lot of synths and stuff like that. So, is it conducive to performing live? And have you done so? And how does that differ than performing, let's say, traditional Western music?
Yeah, I've performed live before, and it is definitely conducive to performing live. One thing that I really like doing actually is doing dance routines for every single one of my songs.
Right.
It's, although it may not be realistic to, in like a 45-minute long show, to do every single dance, at least, I have them for when I feel that they have merit at the time. But
there's also the Whitney Houston type of moves, because Whitney Houston could not dance at all. So she just,
Wasn't she a good line dancer?
What'd you say?
Wasn't she a good line dancer?
I guess. I don't know.
Hold on. Line dancing.
Yeah. It's not funny.
I thought it was clever.
No. We will have no drug humor on this program.
Now, this could just be. It seems to me that in a lot of the K-pop, the J-pop, the Eastern, all the pops that are Eastern.
Yeah.
They like for the young women to wear like little schoolgirl outfits. It seems like a fetish. It's almost like they're all Catholic or something. I don't know, but
before you answer that, I wanted to get into the production of the video. Are you working with an art director on that, or are you doing all that art direction, choreography, or whatever you want to call it, the cinematography for it? Are you doing that yourself, or is there an outside art director working with you on that?
Yeah, so me and Zane from Zane Productions actually worked together on that. He was the one that I hired to do the video. He hired the backup dancers. We both casted everyone, and he found the location. I mean, he was just fantastic.
A lot of work. Is that fun, or because I don't know, can't get into your mindset, but for me, music was never meant to be about all the work of casting and camera angles and locations and all that stuff. It was just about writing and performing the music. Now you have a million other jobs. Do you enjoy that part of it?
Oh, I enjoy every part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Very good production quality, by the way.
It was, yeah.
So, are you funding this? I mean, I hate to pry here, but it's because of the production quality of it. I'm thinking it's an expensive endeavor to get into as a promotional tool for the music, because it's necessary as a promotional tool. It's a big expense to get into. And being a college student, I remember, I have enough memory of that, where we used to live on macaroni and cheese.
Unless you're a trust fund baby. I
didn't have money to fund music videos and even the audio part of it. Do you have investors behind you?
My parents actually support me. They're huge supporters of me.
Can I move in with them?
I mean, you'd have to talk to them, but that's...
Yeah, all right. Now, the production, the audio production part of it. First of all, do you write on an instrument, or are you writing on a computer like a DAW thing? How do you write when you're coming up with the music? How do you create it?
Okay, so basically I have two methods of writing. My first one is for the instrumentals, I make a demo on Logic X Pro, and I kind of, I'm not a very good producer. I'm not a producer, so that's why they're demos. But I do my best at creating what I think it wants to sound like, right? What I think I want it to sound like, and then I send it over to Kevin Charge, my producer, and he makes it come alive. And then for lyrics, I write on a Google Doc, which I know is really, really unprecedented here.
Wow.
But it's easiest because I can just get it up whenever I need it and on whatever device I need. So I just.
So as far as like chord progressions, are you playing chord progressions, or are you using like stock loop? I mean, to come up with the actual foundation of the song, tricks and stuff, or do you actually play like on a keyboard, play the actual chord progressions out?
So I actually memorize all the chord progressions. They are all kind of live in my head because I actually have perfect pitch. So I kind of just like they're all up here. I don't really need to write them down 100% of the time. As long as I write down the lyrics, I can remember the melody.
Wow. Now that part of things are going a little funky here with my technology stuff. That part of it. So when you've created that, because the audio production sounded really, really high tech and done very well. Do you take it to a professional studio, or are you doing this like on computers and stuff in like a college dorm?
Oh no, I do my demos in my college dorm. I record like a rough vocal, rough backing track, and then I send it to my producer. He gives me the backing track. Then I make plans to come back to Florida and then go to a professional studio to get it done.
Very cool. It sounds like it's a little streamlined because back in the day, back when covered wagon days, when we were producing music, you would basically start like with a guitar or piano. By the time you got it to the studio, you already started to dislike the song. By the time you did 1,000 takes on it and mix it down, you would hate your own song. It sounds like it's a faster process, and you don't end up hating your music when you're performing it.
It's a way faster process for sure. Now, I don't hate my music, but it does get a little annoying sometimes because my family plays it every second they can.
Right.
Well, at least you had a family that played it. My family never even listened to my music.
Yeah.
GD, we have a hard time listening to you here, so.
Oh.
It's smelly hippie music. Oh no, that's mine. I'm sorry.
It's yours.
I do need a hug. Very hurt by that.
Virtual hug.
Yeah.
I'm not touching him because he smells like a hippie. No. Now, Olivia, when you damn it, Glenn, you forgot your comment. I have to come back because I forgot it. I looked down at my notes and I read the wrong notes.
Brain fog is very common among people your age, and I would they have medication for that, by the way.
Hey, I get that too. So.
Wow. Now, I couldn't help but notice the high school theme in that video that we looked at. You're a college student, so it's like you're already catering to younger people, or that's your audience. Is that a futurist kind of career decision? Is like we have to produce for younger people already, even though you're still very young yourself?
Not really. It was more of just like a location. It was more of like an easy location to just depict. I felt it fit in with the song, and I did write that song in high school. So I felt like it was only appropriate to include the high school scene, not necessarily for younger audiences, but it's kind of, I don't consider my music or myself for younger audiences or for older audiences. I consider my music for everyone.
Wow.
So I'm curious. I'm a dad. So
your wife tells you.
Right. So I'm curious, how do you and or your family deal with you have to have, there has to be a presence of weirdos, right?
Oh
Between
yeah.
the YouTube videos and I'm sure like the stuff you post on social media. How do you deal with the weirdos and the nasty folks that come out of the woodworks? Because I know
Because
they're
I'm
there.
podcast with them in the morning. The weirdos.
Oh, I mean the real weirdos that pop up in the comments with the off the wall, disgusting perverted comments. That has to happen. I mean, the whole K and J pop thing. There's a whole kink side of that people love, right? So I'm just curious, how do you and your family deal with the weirdos that come out of the woodwork? Because it has to happen often.
Yeah, there's actually, if you check out my Be With Me video, there's already like some really weird comments on it. But I mean, I just kind of, it doesn't really bother me all that much. It doesn't really
Right.
faze me. My parents, they just take it at face value and they're just like, I mean, just ignore it. I don't take
I feel like that would drive me through the roof, seeing weirdos pop into my daughter's comments and being like, "Whoa, nice butt," or whatever they're saying. I'd be like, "Oh my god, I gotta find this guy. I gotta go
Just
find him."
block me. All I have to do is block me, and I won't be able to comment. Okay? No.
Yeah. Actually, what I
See,
get
when you're sitting too
more,
close to Ron, you're sitting
what I
close to Ron. That's a problem.
what I actually get more often, rather than those kind of comments, are the cultural appropriation comments. I get those a lot.
Yeah, I can
Because
imagine.
I'm white and I'm singing J-pop, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, a white girl speaking Japanese. She only does it for anime." And I'm like, "Okay."
It's confusing to me because I do see quite a few young Japanese artists who are singing American music in very clear, better than any American people speak English. I mean, very clear. So they are catering to. It seems the ones I follow anyway, or have seen, catering to American-speaking American audiences with Americanized versions of that. And then we are going. I brought this up this morning. My grandson wants to study Japanese. He wants to move to Japan. It's like the cultures are kind of mixed up with each other, or cross fantasized about each other, or something like that. Is there anything truth to what I'm saying as far as what you hearing me say, or am I just a crazy old man?
Both.
No, there is some truth to that. The Japan and America has a pretty good relationship, from what I've studied and what I'm aware. And I think that there is this sort of, I guess, fantasy in both realms, right? So I consider that I guess the Japanese audience has some fantasism with America, the whole American thing, the whole, I guess, the sort of Hollywood aesthetic, right?
I
Um,
was gonna ask you a question on that because with your music, it seems very modern, right? But a lot of the stuff that I've seen from Japan, it seems like a lot of them really like the 1950s America, the leather jackets with the slick back hair, the tight jeans, and all that. So is your stuff popular over there, or is it kind of hit or miss, or?
I haven't really had enough stuff out to tell yet, but when I release my Start Again album, everything will kind of hopefully pop off. But yeah, but basically, sort of on that train of thought, America also has those ideas of Japan in turn.
Yeah, it's like the grass is always greener.
Yeah, exactly, right. It's like in Japan, it's like America just sees a lot of Americans, from what I've experienced, see Japan as this fantastical anime wonderland, which is
Is that what got you into with the anime? I mean, where did this fascination come from? Were young people being fascinated with Japanese culture? Was it anime, or what drew you to it?
Yeah, for me, it wasn't anime, it was music. Music originally brought me in, originally Hatsune Miku. which you may have heard of. She's a Vocaloid. She doesn't exist. She's like a robot voice. And the producers, like people from around the world, can use her voice bank to make music instead of selling their songs to singers, and then they don't get the credit, and it's just complicated, right? But in this way, the producers get more recognition, more, but basically, Hatsune Miku brought me in, and it was a very, a lot of her music is Japanese. And I really liked the style. I loved in some ways, the modernization, but in some ways, the old timiness. And I always thought to myself, I wish this sounded more, if this sound, not that I wish, it's more of like, if this sounded a little more like how K-pop does in, a certain aspect, I feel like it would be more world-renowned popular. But because it's so, I guess a lot of J-pop is very monotonous, and a lot, from my experience in listening to J-pop, a lot of it sounds very similar.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
I think if you don't listen, genres do that, and the industry wants that. We were talking about that with the authors this morning. It's like no matter what in the creative arts, they really, really want to encourage cookie cutter. Everything sounds the same and because they don't want to take risks. So if it's bankable, let's do bankable again, and it's killing creativity, it's killing imagination, it's killing open doors of creativity. So that's just my take on it. But I feel like
I completely agree. I think that in general, I think that creativity is being sort of killed by that, but also I also think that there's safety in the cookie cutter method, which here's the thing. Here's the thing that about my music is that I consider most of my songs to be different from each other. I consider them to be very different in genre. I consider them to be more some of them have rap in it, some of them are more of a rock style, some of them are hyper pop, some of them are hip hop. I consider my music to be a little more well-rounded in terms of if there's someone who wants a certain genre, they can probably find it within my J-pop.
Can we find some Neil Young in there?
Possibly.
No, I used to listen to.
Ron didn't even change his facial expression at all. When he just heard Neil Young, he still kept that same frown on.
Now, I mean, for me, I guess J-pop is like anything else. As far as in the U.S., we have all these different categories. Because I know I used to listen to typical Japanese music. Like when I say traditional, I mean like they would use in kabuki theater and stuff like that. But also, I listen to like Yellow Magic Orchestra.
No, Matt, no, that's not what he said. No.
I know. Well, it's close enough.
Just leave it alone. Leave it alone for now.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that later.
All right. But my question was as far as how far can you stretch J-pop and it stays J-pop? Because it's like Yellow Magic Orchestra, as long as they maintain orchestral sounds, they could do almost anything, but they had to stay within those parameters. How far can you stretch the J-pop before it becomes something different?
Yeah, I going on with your orchestral example, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. As long as it has some element of Japanese influence in it, I believe I can stretch it pretty far. I don't think J-pop should have limits.
I don't think anything should have limits.
I agree, but for example, just take in country. Okay, just take country music for example, and I'm not a country fan, or do I know a lot about country music? But the country purists, as soon as someone, let's say like Beyonce or the guy from Derek Rusher, whatever they.
Darius Rucker.
Right, Darius. Right, my wife would know his name. It rolls off her lips like a kiss. But if they, do something, it's like it's no longer country. It's country
Stadium.
rap or crap. Or I think that's what country rap is short for, crap, right?
No, it's not. Stop it, GD.
I'm just saying.
You call it Bluntry.
Or Nuntry.
Was there a point to this question, or is this just like
It was a point until it got sidetracked. I don't remember the point now. Oh no, shit.
The point was he wanted to tell us that his wife wants to bang Darius Rucker.
No, I didn't. No, not again. She doesn't want to do it again.
I could just picture a scenario with Neil Young and Darius Rucker on a holiday.
Okay, no, stop, no, that's gross.
All right. Let me ask you about the music business, because you're a college student, and I'm assuming that even though you're in college and have plans for a degree and all this, that music is your first love, and you love to make a life as a music creator. Is the music industry conducive to that now, or is it just like so stacked that there are always going to be one or two Taylor Swift, Beyonce's at the top of the food chain, and everybody below that struggles? Because I'm thinking like Spotify, there's a billion people on Spotify, but even like they come at me, the Spotify promoters, we can get your music in front of people. It's like, dude, my chances of that passed 40 years ago. And I understand there are 40 billion people on there, whatever. Is the future for the music industry, is it conducive for people to make a living doing what they love, or is it you have to have a backup plan and end up being a Japanese teacher?
Well, actually, what I'm doing is sort of working, I guess, because with the management team that I am pursuing now, because I actually just got #1 in the UK on the J-pop charts.
Congratulations!
And
Good job. That's awesome.
Thank you. I just recently, I guess to answer your question, I think that it's sort of the music industry is so much different than it used to be. I hear lots of stories from my from my producer, from my recording producer, of how the industry used to be, and how it was like basically record labels made you, but now you make yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make yourself before a record label can even think of signing you. And there's a lot to the whole thing about whether or not you can really get to the top, because there's a lot of like sections, right? There's the indie artists, and then you have like the pseudo celebrities, and then you got like the A-listers, right? But like, you got like there's like a whole world, there's a whole iceberg, of that sort of thing. And it's hard.
Difficult now, because in the old, and again, I'm an old man and I talk about the old days, but before 1998, the Telecommunications Act, we had radio stations with everyone had their own individual program director, and you had a much better chance of breaking a new artist, getting a new artist out there with all those individual program directors. And then they consolidated into a corporate thing where 6 corporations run every radio station, and then there are only 6 program directors, and they get to choose whatever America hears or the world hears. And it becomes harder and harder to stand out and for people to find you in the first place. So it's really discouraging for me to see that there is so much art, and you'll get a lot of people my age. Music was so much better when we were. You don't know that because you're not hearing any of the new music that's being produced. You're hearing what 6 people are force feeding you, and that's not a good thing for creativity or for culture, society in general. So discouraging.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So are you with the college part of it? Are you gonna complete your degree and then go just focus on music and forget about your degree?
Honestly, that's the plan.
Wow. Do your parents know that? You shouldn't say that out loud on the podcast.
Sort of. I mean,
Your parents are probably too young for my demographic anyway, to be honest with you.
I mean, they sort of are aware, but you know, it's more of like a we get there when we get there type of
So what's the degree you're pursuing?
thing. Japanese
Oh,
language,
Japanese education, Japanese language.
Japanese language and culture. Yeah.
All right,
That's awesome.
now, you had to have some really incredible academic achievements in high school to get into Villanova in the first place, right? So you were a straight A student your whole life. You've been smart your whole life.
I tried really hard in high school.
Okay.
I put all of my work in high school towards books and a lot of extracurricular activities specifically. I think that was the thing, honestly.
All right. Now, before we let you go here, I have the YouTube link in the description. It's scrolling across the bottom. It's Olivia Millen. It's youtube.com/it's Olivia Millen. Is YouTube?
I think it's me, Olivia Millen.
Yeah, it's me, Olivia Millen.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the correction there. Is YouTube the or Spotify, or because where do you tell? I know I was looking for a website to send people to, like a link tree or a consolidated link. Is YouTube the place we want to be sending people, or Spotify, or Apple Music?
Either Spotify or Instagram, because on Spotify it's gonna be all my new releases, but on Instagram they can fans can stay updated to my new releases.
Is it getting easier to kind of reach out and get people to know where to go, or is it getting more difficult every time they come up with a new? We're on Trovo, by the way, today. First time on Trovo. I don't even know what Trovo is, a new streaming platform. But every time they come out with a new one, you have to. I feel like you have to jump on it, but then nobody knows you're there. Is it getting more complicated or harder to kind of let people know where's the best place to find your music is?
Honestly, I think Spotify is where it's at because it's very mainstream. It's the most mainstream music platform that we have. But in regards to your question, I think really it's every new platform does in a way make it harder because that it's like when TikTok came out, it's like a whole separate world, and then other apps started to copy that on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, the whole shebang, and basically it gets complicated.
Are you and I'm going to let you go after this, but I'm curious, are you a celebrity on campus? People
I guess you could say that. I've been recognized a few times. People be like, "Oh my God, Olivia, I know your music," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I guess some people make fun of it, some people don't, but it's you get the whole package.
Well, good for you. I mean, enjoy it. Enjoy. A young political pundit, Luke Beasley, who's a young man, but I saw him the other day get upset that somebody called him a kid. I was like, don't get upset about that. Hold on to your youthful energy. If people perceive you as a kid, that's a good thing. It's not meant to be derogatory. Your youthful energy is what we all want. And when we say kid, it's in a very envious way. Like, I wish I had the youth that you have. Hold on to it and enjoy it, and really cherish these moments. That's from my old curmudgeonly old man. It goes by too fast. So
when I was 55, I was in Florida, and I was living in a community where the people in their 70s and 80s was calling me kid.
Yeah, I would love that. Call me a kid. I'm going to go hang out with a 98-year-old so can call me a kid. Anyway, Olivia, thank you for being here. If there's anything we can do to help continue to promote your work, and we expect big things from you. So as you become a huge star, a worldwide star, please come back and show some mercy on us. And
Of course, I'd love to come back. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye for now. Olivia Millen. It's me, right? It's me, Olivia Millen.
Yes.
At YouTube.
Well, it's her.
I just do this. It's her. It's not me. Obviously, I'm not Olivia Millen. I could put on that little schoolgirl dress.
Don't,
I
please,
would
don't.
give anything.
No,
to
no.
see you
I would
walk
give
like
anything to
Sarah
not see
in
it,
that
so I won't have
outfit.
to unsee it. No.
I
Now
feel
you
like
can
you guys
you
are
can put the little you can put the little
Matt.
tiara or the little
I feel
gems
like
in
you're
your
Matt
hair.
Timony in me. You're hurting my feelings. Listen. I don't have that dress, but I did have that dress.
Wait,
Anymore.
so you have a dress, just not that dress.
I'm sure I probably have
See,
one
Carl
that
just commented.
be appropriate. You brought up the I don't know. I think it was you. Napo sounds like he's in a bath. Is Carl Mann saying that? Carl, stop fantasizing about me and you. First of all, I would pick Neil Young over you.
Oh, I'd pick you, Carl. I'd pick you all day.
Chips too. I'm sorry. The Korean thing. This has nothing to do with K-pop. You saw the plane crash in
Yes.
Korea.
As an avid,
It blew up in the end. 100. It goes poof, and the whole thing blew. 2 survivors.
Right.
Imagine those 2 fucking people and the conversation. We got to get them. Find those 2 people. We want them on the show.
I was wondering if they were maybe the pilots, because only the pilots knew what was like how to prepare for that crash landing, because they landed on the belly without
it looked like a landing gear. Yeah.
I can't imagine 2 people surviving it because the whole thing went up in flames.
That's what I'm thinking. The cockpit. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe the cockpit survived.
I don't know, man. The way it hit, it looked like the I don't know.
Ever fall into a cockpit
of a Learjet? I've been in the cockpit on a Learjet.
I've been in the cockpit of a Airbus once.
I've been in a cockpit with Neil Young and Ron King.
Oh, that's a pit of cocks. That's completely different.
That's almost like a pit of vipers, except for there's no teeth.
All right.
Only if they put the pictures in.
Lots of venom, but no teeth.
Carl, we're still looking for a good stream host. This one, obviously, I'm committed to the rest of this week because I've already sent out the invitations. But we're not loving this. It's better than StreamYard because StreamYard sucks in a way. But we got to find a better host in this. This is really difficult. And I'm not. And we did not do church on this network yesterday. I know GD did it on his network there. The reason was because you have to change the brand completely. The intro, outro stuff. There's just too much work to do to change shows here.
Yeah, I just did I didn't do a live thing. I just pre-recorded it and posted it on YouTube, so there'd be something there.
That's a good thing to do. Thank you for that. I mean, so there has to be another solution. I don't know what it is. It's ruining my life. Can you tell me?
My wife was so angry. I told her, I said, I'm not doing the Reverend. On Saturday night when I found out, I said, I'm not doing the show tomorrow because this is my wife's time to not be, for me to be out of her hair. She's like, what am I supposed to do in that hour? It's like, I'm sorry. We could do something together. It's like, I don't want to do anything with you. I want my mornings to myself. Just like, stop it. She goes, damn it, Matt. I hate Matt. I said, no, don't hate Matt. It's not Matt's fault. You know.
No, her and Matt Finley could get together.
Sound like that. That's just the way I heard it.
They should get together and just bash me, which you know what? Because obviously I'm wounded. I'm wounded by my smelly hippie music and my hack comedy.
I do have a couple of showbiz stories.
You know what? Why don't I have showbiz? The intro loaded up. Why? Can you tell me why? Tell me why.
You can't find it, or you don't know. Because you can't find it.
Is it hard to make arrangements with yourself? Tell me why is a Neil Young song if you didn't know. And Ron, before I look for the showbiz intro, I don't know if I have it, but if I could clarify, do you think that, I don't know, somehow insulting me, hurting me by continuing to bring up the Neil Young stuff? Because I'm not like a big, I just confused by why I don't know, the comments about Neil Young every time I say something inappropriate.
Well, that's just because Neil Young sucks.
All right. I think I have the intro loading up. Look at this. I have it loading up. It says uploading, which means it's uploading. It's loading up. There it is. No, it's not there. 97.32%. And it's ready, ladies and gentlemen. Now I can't even find it, right? Fucking shit.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane.
Showbiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Showbiz.
Hey everybody, good morning. It is Showbiz, and it is Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. Oh, yeah, thank you for the applause. So, of course, this is always sponsored by Minucci's, so make sure you go there for their New Year's Eve dinner. I mean, for $5, you can feed a family of 16, and you're...
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, for $5, you get access to Minucci's dumpsters out back, so please bring the family for a good time. We're all about... You know, the nice thing about Minucci's, they're all about sustainability and preserving resources. So please, a $5 New Year's Eve dumpster dinner. You can't beat that.
Nope. Sign me up.
This is the Bort office from this weekend. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was number 1. The other movies on this list, number 7 was Baby Girl. Then A Complete Unknown, which is made 11.6. And the rest of the top 10 is kind of the movies that's just been out there hanging around.
Now, you went to see Baby Girl, correct?
I did, yes.
And do you think it's a number 7 movie, or is it a number 1, or is it where would you put it on this list if it were just about quality?
This is dollars.
Yeah. It makes sense that it's number 7 because it's an adult movie, and it's especially what the subject matter is about. So I'm all right with the number 7, considering the competition. I mean, you're going against a kid-friendly movie like Sonic the Hedgehog and Mufasa, and that huge Nosferatu. So
Nosferatu is a great kids movie.
Yeah,
I always call it Nosferatu.
I think it's somewhat positive, though, that even both of those movies, The Complete Unknown and Baby Girl, made the top 10. So that at least tells you people still want to see stories, at least in some fashion.
No, let me ask you, is there really any Neil Young reference in The Complete Unknown? Or are you just making that shit up? There's no.
I don't know. I thought you went to see it.
No, I had not on the opening weekend. I want to see it, but you know me, I will wait till it comes out in carrier pigeon on a thumb drive.
Yeah, is that guy about to push Charlemagne out into the audience or something? Why is he pushing him?
Oh, because he probably heard that they were playing Neil Young on the set. I'm like, God damn it!
How do we send Carl a link here? Shut up. Oh, here you go. It's just very difficult, this whole fucking situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes me want to punch babies.
Right.
Well,
So
governors.
All right.
Well, I sent it to your Twitter thing, Carl. If you're interested in popping in. What is this? That's Nicole Kidman, right? She's the star of Baby Girl, or no?
Yes. Yep. This is the number 7 movie. Me and my wife went to see this this past weekend, and it's not a bad movie. There's one kind of arc in it that it's just kind of bizarre that it happens, but then it kind of makes sense. So I don't want to ruin anything. It's frustrating too, but overall the movie is solid. And if you like this type of shit, you should definitely go check it out. Especially if you're tired of all of the just same old that's out there. At least there are still some people making movies that at least push you, especially a mainstream movie like this.
Well, clearly I am tired of the same old, and I don't even get out that much. That's how tired I am. I mean, I don't even get out enough that I can justify being tired of the same old, same old. But I am going to get to see A Complete Unknown, which is probably the same old, same old. It's Bob Dylan. It's about a 60-year career.
I think it's only about like a 4 or 5 year period in that career.
Oh, yeah, that could be. You're probably about that.
Yeah, and if you want to see a naked Nicole Kidman, this is definitely the movie for you.
Is there any movie she didn't ever get naked in? Did she ever do a movie where she hasn't gotten naked?
Moulin Rouge. I don't think she was ever naked in Moulin Rouge. She wore a lot of titties, I think.
Her early movies, there's not a lot of that.
I think her earliest movie was it was like she was on a sailboat with the guy, and it was just full of nudity. It was like that's what made her. That was like, look at that ass. That redhead's got a nice, perfect ass. Type of.
So if you want to see this and you despise Neil Young, it's definitely the movie for you.
Or Baby Girl.
Yep. So
Well,
we
will have a lot of people from this because whoever watches or listens to this show seems to definitely despise Neil Young. So it was perfect demographic then.
Exactly. So I also watch Torching 2024 over the weekend. Have any of you guys watched this?
Not yet. I was planning on it.
I mean, overall, it is not bad. Definitely, Tim Dillon steals the show because he performed as Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO. And
so he just laid there on the ground and bled out.
No, it looks like he's in hell.
Yes. And some people will say, "Well, is it too soon for this?" It is not. It is fucking biting satire, and as it should be. That's what comedy is. It should push.
I've never bit satire once in my life. Well, my teeth aren't that great, but
yeah. But Tim Dillon steals this, so it's definitely worth checking out.
No, I did watch the was Alana. Gosh, what's that comedian's?
Glazer.
Yeah, I did watch that this weekend.
Okay, how was that?
I fell asleep. I fell
go.
asleep.
Yeah.
It didn't. I expected more from her because I know like she's done a lot of really good funny stuff, and this didn't live up to any of that to me.
Are you sure you had a nap earlier in the day?
I had a nap, and it just didn't do it for me.
All right, so definitely check this out. It's only like 50 minutes. It's definitely worth checking out, though.
I'll have a nap before I watch it.
And speaking of known life destroyer, he recently performed this song, I don't know, called "Part in My Heart." This is the first time he's performed it in 50 years, and someone had to tell him after he performed it, most of the people that listen to that song were probably dead and no longer care.
I was about to say, most people tell me, those aren't the words. Those aren't the right words.
Yeah, it's hard in my heart, right? I'm gonna harden my heart. Quarter Flash. You don't even remember that. Wow, that's how old I am. Yeah, Neil, you know what? 20 years ago, he came out with like anti-war music, and this was in the days of the Yahoo music groups, and I made the statement that he's just desperately trying to stay relevant. This was 20 years ago, but a lot of the boomers came out. Oh, they still see Neil as some kind of hippie hero or something. They were Matt Timney and me to death over it. But I think he's been desperate to stay relevant for a long time. I'm not. His music doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. It's just that it's not brilliant and it's not genius. I think it was just right for the time. But there's a lot. You either love Neil Young or you hate him, or you're having like pile-on orgy sex with them. It's one of those.
Well, there are just some artists in every decade that just happen to be right for that time.
Right.
And it happens everywhere.
But they don't always hold on till they're 98.
No, some, a lot don't, but then some do. And you're like, really? Why is this guy still here?
Yeah.
Why
But,
is the question is why is Neil Young still alive and Falco is dead?
because of their commissar?
Yeah.
I
No,
think they're
Falco was Rock
don't
Me
turn
Amadeus.
around. Ooh.
Yeah.
The commissar's
Falco.
in town. Yeah.
All right.
Can't touch it.
So the 10 most viewed stand-up specials by Netflix. This is Ali Wong. She comes in at number 10 with 123 million minutes watched.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like her with the long hair. When I saw the first special, I saw she had that little bowl cut.
Yeah.
That was Ali
Number
Wong.
9 is
Number 9. Number 9
is Pete Davidson. He had 129 million minutes watched.
129 million minutes. Get my calculator. How many hours is that? Come on.
3.
So this is new to me. They're measuring stand-up specials in minutes watched. I guess that's a streaming thing, right? But
Yeah, it makes sense because not everybody's going to watch because they're going to watch the whole thing at one time. They may watch like 10 minutes here.
I
20
know.
minutes
I'm just
here.
commenting on how outdated I am and how I'm ready to have the dirt thrown on top of me because it just. I remember when it was used to be in units sold. Now it's in minutes watched. It's just the world is changing.
Now the thing is, it could be like if you get somebody super popular, but it's a bad special. People, let's say 40 million people tune in, but because it's like, oh, it's so and so, but they only watch like the first 10 minutes and go like, this is crap. So you have like 400 million minutes watched.
Right.
Yeah, it all depends on how the metric is measured, like how long you have to be tuned in to count for a watch and things like
Right.
that. So they could be anything.
Yeah, but if they're only counting minutes, it doesn't. You don't have to. If you're only counting total minutes, then it doesn't. Seems like there's no minimum.
Yeah, well,
Except
either
for 1
way,
minute.
these people are killing it. And number 8 is Adam Sandler with 130 million minutes.
Where is his special? I want to see it. Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, these are all Netflix specials.
Wow.
And with 130 million minutes watched of Adam Sandler, that equates to 5,416 days.
Wow. Wow.
That's a lot of days. Number 7, believe it or not, is Ellen with 213 million minutes watched.
Gross.
Now she's done, right?
That's what
it.
she's saying. Joe Coy, number 6, with 240 million. So many minutes. Number 5 is Rogan with 245 million minutes.
That's disturbing. I mean, because that's one of the guys I think, yeah, he's got the bro following. They love his podcast, whatever. Tune in, but once it starts not being funny after 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes, I've never seen the guy make me laugh ever. And listen, even before I thought he was a dick, when I first started with his podcast in like 2014 and stuff, I went to check out some of his specials and I was like, why are people, he's not a stand-up. He's a television guy who got lucky with a sitcom, which he wasn't really good in. And then the Fear Factor stuff, and then translated into a podcast. But selling out arenas, I don't know. Am I wrong? Did he ever make you laugh? Did you ever watch like 2 minutes of Joe Rogan's special and have a laugh?
I've never watched anything of his that made me laugh ever.
There's been a few times, but I mean, I was never really a fan of his stand-up to begin with, so I'm not the best judge of it. But
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think he was ever like. He built a stand-up career off of being on a television. He was a good-looking young midget when he was on news radio. Chicks liked him, and then that gave him popularity. He got Fear Factor and all that stuff. Stern and Opie and Anthony put him on a lot, and he got popular off of that. And then when he started doing his podcast, he started to blow up and do arenas and stuff. But I don't think he was ever really. Because even at the Carlos Mencia thing, when he outed Mencia as a joke thief, Mencia said, "You're not even a real comic," and he had to ask the audience, "Am I a real comic?" And he's at the Comedy Store, and like a handful of people applauded. Like not the whole place was like, "Yeah, you're really funny, Joe." A handful of people. I don't think he was ever that.
Yeah,
And
I watched 40 minutes of his newest special, and it was rough.
wow, 40 minutes. God bless you. You must have been taking Viagra or something.
Yeah, well, to really criticize something, you got to get through it sometimes. So I want, that's how I am. Number 4 lands Matt Rife at 285 million.
Wow. And that was all women diddling themselves while they had him on.
Now, number 3 is surprising, actually. Number 3 is Mike Epps, and he finished at 306 million minutes.
I don't know him. Wow. I feel like GD in this moment.
No, because I know who he is.
Wow.
I'm surprised he got that many minutes because I didn't know he had anything new out there. But okay.
Yeah, he's doing well, and if a little bit about his contract structure and like the hurdles and stuff he has in it, it's no wonder he is doing well for a guy that you would think like, oh, really? He's doing that well? Yeah, he's doing well. Number 2 is Kevin Hart.
Oh, GD's angry now. Look at him.
But
just disgusted, not angry.
It wasn't a stand-up special per se. Kevin Hart is the Mark Twain Prize and 364 million minutes watched.
Wow.
That's disturbing. He actually received the Mark Twain.
Yep.
There is no God. There is no fucking God.
Number 1 on Netflix is The Roast of Tom Brady. Now, gentlemen, I gave you all those numbers. What do you think the Roast of Tom Brady numbers are?
I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 6 million hours or whatever. Like
600 million hours.
I'm gonna say 6 million hours because it's been out there a lot longer, and they had the shortened version and the long version for people to pick from.
1 billion minutes watched.
Steven, you have a guess?
Steven trying to figure out
500 million. 500 million.
The Roast of Tom Brady. Matt was the closest. It finished at 2.9 billion minutes.
Holy motherfucking wow. Now, how long is this special? It's like 2 hours, right? Or is it...
Yeah, it's like, no, I think it's over, 2 hours or over 2 hours.
But I thought they did a shortened version. That's what I said. I thought they did a shortened version.
They may have. But the Roast of Tom Brady is 2.9 million minutes.
Billion. You said million. Now, this is where it gets confusing because it's football and a roast of Tom Brady. Is that popular outside the States, or is that only American football is an American thing?
It got a lot of good press. Nikki Glazer fucking absolutely murdered during that roast. So that helped. Then
she did. She killed it.
And Hinchcliffe too, right?
Hinchcliffe as well. He got a nice bump after that and kind of killed it at the roast. But it was really Nikki Glazer, and I think she probably drove a lot of that. And Tom Brady is a recognizable figure.
But in America, am I wrong?
And I think it also got helped by the fact that Tom Brady complained about it as well. And when people complain about shit, it's like, oh, I got to see what he's complaining about.
Yeah, I mean, between football fans, he's recognizable as the star, maybe out of the States as like for advertising, not for football per se, but it could be, he could be doing ads in other countries and they don't know who he is, but he's good looking and it's like, oh, all right, we'll put him on.
And in the U.S., he has a lot of haters. So I can see a lot
somebody
of haters.
on Twitter yesterday was saying he never shuts up.
I can see haters watching it just so they can see him get his comeuppance.
And if you're curious, math-wise, 2.9 billion minutes converts to 120 million days.
Wow,
that is wild.
Yes, it's so much time.
Foulmouth says
120 million days.
any foreign infatuation of NFL went through Tom Brady. I thought he meant inflation, underinflation.
I got you. So enjoy the suffering, everybody. It's another day. This is a cat pop group, so enjoy them and enjoy your licks.
I'm confused. I see 5 strings, but 12 pegs on that guitar. So,
hey, that's AI for you.
Now Netflix. This is since we're talking about specials here. Last night, Netflix recommended a Bert Kreischer special to me, and I was thinking about Rogan because Bert Kreischer has never made me laugh. I was probably me, probably just that the guy I find him off-putting, but do you think is he funny in specials? Is he funny doing stand-up, or is he just like a podcast guy who likes to take his shirt off?
I think with Bert, he knows his audience, and I think his audience is very kind of dad specific. It's about dads who drink, party, that have a good, kind of that rowdy dad. That's kind of Bert's makeup, and so he's funny. Obviously, he's fucking funnier than Rogan, I think, on any given day.
Yeah,
I feel like we're the story of a man named Brady.
Yeah,
and he was bringing up 3 ugly dudes in the background.
FYI,
one had hair just like their mother.
FYI, there's a gentleman on the Governor's Network who says that he loves it when untalented hacks critique legends.
So is that me?
Well, he said untalented hacks, so that's plural. And critiquing legends. I don't know which legends he's referring to. He could be more specific, but
because that's what you do. You think every comic or movie star you have, you've liked every project they've put out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can be critical, and obviously those people are doing slightly better than all of us sitting here, right?
Right. That's very true. Now, Legends is I don't know. Legends, I think of
you can just
people
call me
who've
a guy.
passed already, living, but
like for example, I did say when he said Kevin Hart was number 2, I think it was number 2. I said that there is no God. No, because he got the Mark Twain Award. That's what it was. Yeah. It's not the comedy special per se. It's the fact that he was given a Mark Twain Award.
I thought it was me bashing Rogan, not because I don't think Rogan.
But I don't think of Rogan as a legend. I think people think Kevin Hart's a legend.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think of Rogan as a legend either. But I know he has bros who, if I say bro fans, Rogan. If I say I don't find him funny, that amounts to bashing him. I've asked the question: am I wrong? Is he funny? Have you ever found him funny? He's never made me laugh. Never once.
No. And that's the one thing about comedy is subjective. That's why when he said untalented hacks, I just said I can take it.
And what's that person doing with their career?
I don't know.
What's the name?
The name is Warbucks, all caps.
What is it?
Warbucks, WARBUCKS.
Oh, make sure. Well, then you know what? Give them the email, and we can talk to them directly. Email Toby Walker at gmail.com.
Not
Toby Walker.
Tony Miller.
Tony Miller.
No, I'm talking about Toby Walker. Toby Walker is our guy that handles the complaints.
That's right. That's true. Toby Walker handles the complaints.
Isn't it Toby Miller?
Tony Miller provides all the late night entertainment for talent.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Untalented hacks. I'll cop to that. I'm an untalented hack.
Well, I will not cop to being untalented. I am talented. Hack, I'll accept.
I'm not only untalented, I'm unskilled.
I'm a talented hack, but
it's still funny to me that there are other podcasts that that do podcasts about other shows, and they are
Right.
like it's like, there are what 10,000, I don't know, thousands of podcasts put out every day, and how many of those podcasts are done by people that are non-professional broadcasters? I'd probably say what 98, 99% of them.
Right. Speaking of professional broadcasters, Opie and Anthony. Were you guys fans of Opie and Anthony back in the day, or how during the '90s heyday of morning
Here and
radio,
there.
shock radio?
I was not.
There are like that one that critiqued us a couple of weeks ago. Those people are. There's a lot of those people who are obsessed with that era of morning radio stuff, but they are bashing people like Opie, not so much Anthony. Opie, Stuttering John, Jackie. They have problems with these people who were on morning radio at the time, but still want to be those people. Opie, I had some words with Opie on Twitter the other night, and good words. I mean, basically, he started a YouTube channel. First of all, Jackie tagged me in a thing with him, and I said, I thought, for me, that's an honor. You cannot like Opie, you can like Opie, whatever. In my view, because I knew of him before he blew up and before he became super successful. He was a nighttime guy on WBAB FM while I was on their AM side, and I knew he didn't remember me from then, but I remember listening to him and thinking he was going to go a long way then. I think he deserves a spot in this. Means nothing to anybody who's not a big fan of radio broadcasting, but I think he belongs in the Radio Hall of Fame. I think a lot of these podcasters who were doing this owe him a debt of influence because those were the people who kind of invented podcasting. Rogan has said clearly that Anthony Cumia's Compound Media was what inspired him to start doing his podcast. Well, Anthony wouldn't have been known by anybody if it wasn't for Opie picking him up from a caller. I think he was a caller to his nighttime show and getting him on his morning show on WNEW FM and expanding from there. So, so basically I said to Opie, I know you don't remember me, but I was because there was a glass and I could see him. He was doing his show at night and I was on the AM side. And I said, I know you don't remember me, but I was on the AM side while you were doing the nighttime show. And he was like, oh, hey, Matt. Like, no, I know you don't remember me. I was an old man then, 40 years ago. But there's no way but he was being polite and nice to me. So it's nice.
Well, I mean, when you really break it down, though, podcasting really owes itself to like Howard Stern and like guys like Opie and Anthony, even if you don't like them and don't really agree. I mean, I thought it was funny when they were criticizing the podcast and they were talking about Jackie, and they're like, "Well, he's just talking about this." It's like Jackie built an entire career working on the Stern Show. And you also know on the Stern Show, if someone would drop just a single piece of cheese on the floor, they could make an hour out of that.
Right, yeah.
That's what fucking podcasting is now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they were the first people on radio to really, we're just going to sit here and dissect something that is just so basic and fucking tear it down.
Well, imagine being so bad at podcasting that you have to make a podcast shitting on other podcasts.
I think it's being unimaginative. But the other part of that is you have to be honest. I would have loved to have had the career that Opie had. Now he's doing this, but he's still, he's still got a lot. I think he could be back on the radio if there were room for anybody listening to radio. Nobody's listening to radio anymore. People are listening to streaming instead of radio. But for these guys who are bitter at him, just admit you would have fucking sucked his dick to have his career.
I wouldn't have. No,
I would have. I
could have. I know this because I could have had a music career if I had just had sex with this one show producer. And
Did he? Was it a Diddy party you were invited to?
let's correct that. You could have had an opportunity to get some music published. Career means
Well, actually, it would have been to
follow
tour.
it up.
This was to tour with them, not to publish anything. I would have had to.
A career. Now I'm seeing chat stuff here, but I'm not seeing anything new in chat. Like there's a notification that there's new things in the chat room, but there's
two
no
in the
new things
private.
Oh, it's in the private.
Oh, Carl's here.
Yeah, Carl's here.
Hi,
Carl, why doesn't somebody say Carl is here? Wait, Carl's here. Why it won't show on stream? There he is.
20 fucking minutes I've been sat. It's been very good though.
Oh, we didn't know you. I see now. I got to turn that thing back on that tells me people. How do I turn it? Where was that notification? I don't even remember that.
I'll do it. It's in settings and it says TTS on join. I'll turn it back on.
All right, thank you. Because the old man got reliant on it. Probably.
But you complained. You said I don't like it. I don't want that. So I thought I was doing.
I complain about everything. I don't like.
But that was something I actually could do something about.
Right.
And it annoyed me too.
Look, now it's notified to show the speaker by that little orange box.
That's a fixable thing.
How are you, Carl? What's new? Anything new by you?
I've forgotten everything. I don't even know what you were talking about now. But I'm fine. I'm alive. It's nearly New Year. Let's be happy. Come on, happiness.
Is it going to be a good year? It's going to be a new.
I don't know. Any of us could die, so I don't know.
You mean like Jimmy Carter?
Like Jimmy Carter. This is what I wanted to say in the first place. That Korean plane thing. You know, you said the 2 survivors must feel bad. I disagree. I do think there's at least one person who died in that fireball that they're happy that they died. There's always one person on a plane, whether they're too fat, too noisy.
No, I would have. I should have died in that crash if I would have known.
It's a little too gay. You know, there's going to be someone on there. They're going to go, well, I feel bad about the 266 people, but that one guy, fuck that guy. Fuck the guy snoring in my flight to Brazil last year.
I'm just interested because the way it ended, that big fireball, just the trauma that those 2 fucking survivors must have went through, and what goes through their mind now. Like, first of all, they weren't uninjured, right? They had to be singed a bit.
Yeah, was it? Is it Travis that's with the Kardashians now that survived the plane crash? Is it that
Travis
one?
Barker? Yeah, he survived one.
But it was a small plane, but he was covered in jet fuel, and it wasn't good. It's not good.
Wow.
Yeah, you probably got hit in the face by a baby's head. You know.
Let's get those 2 people on the show. We want to talk to them about their experience and do they believe in God now? They have, you know, if you come through that, you got to believe in God, right?
Have you ever seen the movie Fearless?
Fearless. What?
It has Jeff Bridges in it and like Rosie Perez in it. It's about people that survive a plane crash.
Right.
Yeah. And it's I mean, back in the day, it was a rather interesting movie. And that's definitely worth the check out. I haven't seen it forever, but they delve into a lot of shit about, you know, survivor's guilt and how people just change after surviving something.
Survivor's guilt. That didn't even occur to me. Like, I don't think I would feel guilty.
I was talking to the wife this morning about this, and I was kind of in the same boat. I was like, I'd feel like I'd have it if people were with me that I was close with maybe died and I didn't. But a plane full of strangers, I mean, yeah, I feel bad for everyone who didn't survive, but I don't know if I'd have survivor's guilt.
I might come away with the belief that my life is actually meant to do something positive.
Maybe, sure.
I might come off with a delusion that
it's a great time to start a cult.
Right? I wouldn't have survivor's guilt. That's not part of my makeup. I would probably try to do something. You know how people make New Year's resolutions and they go like, I'm going to do this, and then January 2nd comes. Yeah, right after us about the plane crash, I said I'm going to make my life count for something. By the next day, I'd be like at a titty bar.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to be a millionaire by January 15th.
I'd have empathy, and then I'd feel sad, but then I'd try and monetize it. I'd try and get
that's it. That's where I thought DD was going to go, and he'd be the guy where like the plane crashes, he's one of 2 survivors, and he goes, "Man, that last step was a doozy." And then everyone, and you know, there's no one there to laugh, which he's used to.
Or they could just be a terrible person afterwards, because you know, like anytime you do something, you know, if you show up late to an event at their house and you're like, I couldn't get here, and they'd be like, I survived a plane crash. It's like, come on.
I know that he's gonna be that guy. Okay, we get it. You survived a fucking plane crash. Whoop.
I'm sorry, Randy says GD could be the other survivor
hold on.
and still deny God because Kevin Hart won the Twain.
Hold on. Where are you getting
Why are you
Randy
getting
from?
Randy? I thought his name was Bill
His name
Rhodes.
is Bill.
I'm sorry, I was thinking Rhodes, right?
Yeah,
Bill
well, you
Rhodes.
called him
You keep
Randy
calling
earlier.
him
I know.
Randy.
Sorry, because I know his last name is Rhodes, and I think of Randy Rhodes.
Oh, Randy Rhodes. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. You know what?
I don't get it.
Well, guitar player for, and speaking of plane crashes, guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne, who died in a plane crash. Now, I've been running out of guitar player shredders to highlight. That's a good one, Randy Rhodes. I'll have to. He was short-lived though. Like he didn't have a long career. He had,
What
like,
about the
2
drummer with one arm? Did he lose that in a plane crash or
Def
was that a
Leppard?
car accident?
Car crash.
I don't remember
Car
his
crash?
name.
Okay.
Yeah, he blew his mind out in a car. He hadn't noticed that the lights had changed.
Sorry, Bill. I was thinking of your last name, and I went straight to Randy. Sorry.
Billy Rhodes. Billy Rhodes.
It's
Billy.
all right.
He was the guitar player for Ozzy's kid. That weird kid on the Osbourne show. Jack Osbourne? Was it Jack Osbourne?
Jack.
Yeah. Carl, the European perspective. Would you be interested in this Tom Brady roast? I mean, do people over there care
Yeah,
about Tom?
it was pretty big globally because Tom Brady actually owns a soccer club here now.
Oh.
He owns a small, it's not a small, it's like second division, Birmingham City, where Ozzy Osbourne's from, actually.
Do they deflate their soccer balls a little bit?
Yes, mainly. But no, I think it was pretty big. It was big over here. Well, there are quite a few NFL fans over here. It's not massive, but there are a few fans. And
The NFL comes to the UK, right? Often? Not often. But
yeah,
like
they play
once
it. They play at my team. They play at my team stadium, so it's getting a little bigger here. And Tom Brady's pretty much globally famous, but most of it's going to be in the USA, right? It's 48 million hours it was, so not everyone's going to watch a whole hour. So maybe it got like 30 million people watching it, but
wow. Now, as the Netflix thing with American football, would that make you interested in watching American football?
yeah, I used to watch it when I was a kid. It was on late night on some weird channel, like 1 a.m. Then I fell out of it. We had one team here, and like I said, my team has NFL. We're the stadium that has the games that come over 6 or 7 times a year.
Carl, you said
So
some
I
weird
would go and watch
channel.
it
Would that
live.
be BBC One, BBC Two, or BBC Three, or BBC Four?
No, watching soccer here even is way more expensive than for you guys. Even though it's from here, we have to pay like 120 a month to see everything. It's over 3 different networks. I think you have to pay ESPN and you can see everything.
When you say BBC One, I think of Neil Young and Ike Turner getting together for a little rendezvous.
British Broadcasting Company, I think.
Big
not
black corporation.
I'm sorry, Ron has done this to me. I will never forgive him for what he's done to me with Neil Young.
Well, the fact that we almost mentioned Bukkake with a teenage girl in the room.
I didn't almost mention anything. I knew exactly what I was saying.
Our minds were in the same place at the same time.
She's not a teenage girl. She's in her 20s. She's a college student. But yeah, I felt a little whatever. What was the word you said that sounded like
Kabuki. I said kabuki. I said
Bukkake.
No, I said kabuki theater. Okay, not bukkake theater.
Was bukkake derived from what's the word?
Kabuki.
Kabuki was.
Kabuki is a
mask.
mask.
Come out of kabuki because the kabuki girls have white faces, right? The white on the face.
Those are
This is probably inappropriate.
Yeah, they have white paint on their face. White pancake makeup.
So we were supposed to be off Govs a while ago.
I don't think Tony's doing anything until after the new year.
I got to figure a way to get off of there or at the right time.
Well, right now there's nothing else on there. I don't think he's doing Knock on Dead Comedy until January 2nd.
Oh, so we could just go all night on Govs.
Well, there are other shows on Govs. Like there's like a sports show and stuff like that.
Yeah. If you're listening to me on my phone right now, hang up because I'm not talking to you.
You just told them to hang up, so you are talking to them.
I'm not.
You are. You just did. You
They
told them to
hung
hang up.
They hung up. All right. So yeah, Carl. Anything you want to let the people know about? We promoting anything? Anything?
Absolutely nothing until after New Year, which is only one day away, to be honest. But I'm going to ignore everything until at least Thursday.
Now, Carl. Rumor had it that a lady with lady parts was moving into your place. Has the
What?
lady?
What rumor is this? Did I start that rumor?
This is a fact. This has happened right now, and I never have to cook or clean again. It's pretty good, although sometimes,
Congrats,
All right,
man. Congrats.
We're gonna start a poll. How long to Carl offs himself?
I don't think that's changed. I don't think that changes with company or like life events. It's a long term. It's a long term thought.
Well, the thing is, it's harder for him to off himself because now there's somebody there who actually could save him, even if he didn't want to be saved. Be like, leave me alone. I want to go. And she was like, no, I can't let you die on my watch.
Yeah, we can't let you hang yourself today because I need to nag you for
And not with my bra. You cannot hang yourself with my bra. No.
There was a bra around here a minute ago. I had to pick up a load of clothes from this chair and throw it over there.
Now, is this just a roommate, or is this somebody that you get to
shag,
diddle?
Yeah, she's in a room that's here. That's this one. So yeah, I can pretty much. I think I can do it at once. She has no arms. You see, she can't fight me off.
This is kind of earth-shattering breaking news. I can't believe the major network.
Yeah, and normally I'd keep it quiet for another 3 years until there's kids and stuff, but I didn't. I just told everyone on YouTube.
Now, just I hate to be like, I don't want.
Matt, you keep saying I hate you, but
it's just Jamie's wife.
You're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Is it Jamie's wife? You stole Jamie's wife? Is that what happened?
No, but I will also have his wife and children, not all in the same way when he's on dialysis. That will never change. I've told him that. I told them
Jamie, because I don't hear from him. He avoids me. It's like I did something.
He's just not online much. He's probably just very tired, and he drinks every day. And at Christmas, you see, he's busy because he drinks every day, like the rest of the year. So yeah, it's hard to track him down. I'll try and go and see him in the new year.
Carl, did the kids call you daddy yet, or are they waiting for?
Well,
Jamie
it's a
to
bit
pass?
like
Uncle Carl. Why they calling you
16,
Uncle Carl?
17. It's a bit inappropriate now. But I'll try and get them to at least the next time I'm down. I'll try and get them at least just to call me daddy once. That'll do. I'll remember.
Matt maybe to test this. Back in the day when somebody else who wasn't your father was sleeping with your mother, you called him uncle.
Yeah.
As in, I give up, uncle.
That's
uncle,
usually
I
how
give
moms
up.
got. That's usually how
That would
moms
have been
got
difficult
caught, like my
because
own.
my brother uncle would have been a little weird.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's how my mom got caught with Uncle Brew. I was like, Dad, who's Mighty Mouse? Where'd you see Mighty Mouse? On Uncle Brew's upper thigh? What?
My God, this is just terrible. This is a terrible conversation for the morning. All right. Should we end this nonsense, or do you guys have anything more?
Yeah, this is crashed into a wall like Korean Airlines.
No,
So how probably less than 1 million minutes of this will be watched. I
think we'll hit the 1 million mark by tomorrow morning.
All right, hold your breath. In the meantime, tomorrow's guest will be Kevin Hart and those two people from the Korean Airlines.
I'm out. I'll be back on Wednesday.
No, I will be here because I have no problem facing off with him. I don't have a problem with it.
What's going on, Steven? What's going on tomorrow? You doing stuff?
No, I was just kidding.
Oh, no show on Wednesday, obviously, because
I have a show Wednesday.
We'll all be hungover.
You're welcome, Bear Love.
That was last week.
What is he welcome for? What did he do?
That
I'm
was,
being on the
was
show
last week, but he just said thanks for having me on the show.
That was a long time
guys.
ago.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna. If anybody wants to say the words,
what? Turn on your radio?
I think Carl should say it. He's our guest.
I was thinking of a different word, but if you would like to turn on the radio, then do. Is that...
Close, long division, gone.